All the guys were out there. It was like, it was a moment. Scottie Scheffler's out there. Colin Morikawa's out there. Justin Thomas is out there. Jordan Spieth is out there. We've been watching them for 15 minutes. And Danny Rapp leans into me and says, "Those shirts are red, right?" I go, "Yeah, those are red." And he's like, "They look gray to me." But by the context clues, I figured they were red.
Well, the shorts looked blue and the hats were white, so I kind of figured they were red.
It's got to be red in there.
Gotta be red.
Foreplay brought to you by Barstool Sports and presented now, as always, by Chevy. Chevrolet.
Chevy, baby.
America, like a rock.
Yeah. You and I were talking about those old commercials. Those Like a Rock commercials, those are like my childhood.
Iconic.
Like yeah.
Iconic.
Can we put a Like a Rock soundbite right here?
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock.
There you go. There it is. That's
Strong
going to be
as
stuck in your head all
I
day,
could
everybody.
be, like a rock. And
It's
they would
so
just
strong.
cut to the Chevy coming around the corner or over like a boulder.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Is
Shout out
that
to
American or what? Shout out to Chevy. I'm going to get little breaking news. I'm going to purchase a Chevy.
Boom. For
Yeah,
Pinehurst.
Yeah, I need one for the Pinehurst house. When I go there, I can't just be Ubering around all over the place. The Southern Village, so I need a vehicle. I'm going to acquire a Chevy. I don't know which one to get yet. I was looking at them yesterday at the Barstool Classic in New York at Long Island, Cherry Valley, which is a great venue.
Mm-hmm.
And we were looking up their EVs because pretty much everything's EV now, as it should be. It's 2022. We're in the future. It's going to be 2023 soon. Their Equinox, phenomenal.
Yep.
Silverado, I could be a truck guy. That's
Yeah.
like a rock right
I feel
there.
like you throw the clubs in the trunk. In the truck. That's a good move.
That's a nice move.
Yeah.
It's like, for housework, if I'm going up to like Lowe's or something and I'm going to throw a bunch of stuff in the bag, that's a truck. That's a Silverado. Guy at the Boston stop at Walston had a Chevy Silverado. He parked right up front. I was like, that thing is sick.
Chevy Blazer solid.
Chevy 6.4. Wasn't that a
I think
thing?
the Blazer's one of the
That's
new
like a rap
really
thing.
That's
good
a hip-hop
things.
thing.
Chevy
64.
6.4.
Yeah, they're
64 Impalas.
EUVs
Is that what it
we
is?
looked
Yeah.
at.
So Impala Chevy.
Yes.
Oh, T.I.'s been rapping about the,
The
Impala
old
forever.
1964 Chevy Impalas are like the popular car to now put hydraulics on
Got it.
and put why am I not thinking about the name of those rims? But they're they're the cool hip hop car.
Sick.
Here's a good fact that you don't have to be rich now to have an EV car. That was a bit of a thought there for a while, maybe a stereotype. Nowadays, the EVs from Chevy, they're affordable. EVs are for everyone, everywhere. With an established full-line brand like Chevrolet, we can offer multiple EV vehicles with the volume, variety, and the value customers all over the world have come to expect. So go get yourself a Chevy. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I think I'm a Chevy Blazer guy. It's
The
a
Blazer's-
really nice.
The Blazer's nice.
It's a really, really nice SUV. Comes in all different colors. Gets 320 miles. Electric vehicle. The inside, the infotainment system is what I like to call it, is incredible.
You came up with that?
I don't know if I came up with it, but I definitely use it more than I know other people do.
Infotainment system.
Like I'll be in the car, I'll be like, that's a sick infotainment system.
It's information and entertainment combined.
That's actually a really good term.
Yeah.
You described what that function is perfectly.
I knew it without it. I didn't need to
Yeah.
ask a follow-up.
It's like ringtone.
if you go on these car websites, you'll see that word somewhere, but no one uses it in their everyday life, and I use it a lot. Almost every
Infotainment.
car I'm in. The other day when we were in a Chevy, pickup truck, I said, "Look at this infotainment system."
You did say that.
You use this in normal
Oh yeah,
conversation?
as much as I can.
Yeah, infotainment.
One of the few infotainment ambassadors out there, I think.
We got a big show today. So we're live from Charlotte, North Carolina, President's Cup week. We are on site all day today. Dan's been here for 2 days. Dan has now reemerged in the golf scene, in the media center, representing the evil empire of Barstool Sports
Yeah.
Incorporated.
Yep.
And we have a lot to break down. We saw pretty much everybody today out on the course, caddies, players. We saw the actual golf course for the first time, ran into a bunch of fans, which was great. So I want to talk about that. I know we got tidbits to get to, but I first want to talk about Dan in his element. It was like a proud father must feel at some point, or a proud brother or something, because seeing you in your element today, we had this, it was almost like speed dating that they do for the,
Yeah, it's a weird setup.
which is a weird format, but for the press conferences today, I got to put my iPad away. It's going fucking crazy right now.
I got one of those.
Me too.
Still on the market.
The
In the
presser
for one.
today, there was like 6 different guys being interviewed. You kind of just jumped to whoever you wanted to and asked questions. You were front and center with your hands behind your back, asking questions, and then just listening as intently as a human being can listen, and doing that for seemingly the entire thing. I want to start with a question, and then I want to get to we'll go through the whole day. But
Sure.
what was your general, welcome and were there tensions like with the old school general media center now that you're part of us?
I don't think you guys are as villainous as you once were. Like, I think if I had made this move 3 years ago, it would have been like, wow. They would have felt a little bit maybe offended. Now it's
losing our edge.
I don't know if it's losing the edge. I just think it's like Barstool and Foreplay has become so big that it's just like thought of in the same way as, go into any other big, like super successful company. I actually had a couple of the older school journalists come to me and like congratulate me and say like, we totally understand, you're young, if we were in your position, like we'd probably be looking to do the same thing. So that was really nice.
That must have felt good.
It did feel good. I thought about this decision like a very, very hard and long.
You didn't make it on a whim?
I didn't make it on a whim. I knew what the decision was going to be pretty quick, but I thought really long and hard about it. So nothing that they said was going to.
If we would have called you and been like in Shark Tank, we'd be like, all right, you got 30 seconds.
Yeah, I probably would have said yes, honestly.
That's good news for us.
After saying how long I thought about it.
Long and hard.
But yeah, it was cool being back. It's like, that's my comfort zone. I mean, I've been doing that for 5 years. And so asking these questions and talking to these guys is like riding a bike. The difference was, and we talked about this briefly today, Riggs, is like what I wrote today, I wouldn't have written before, just because it's hard to explain, but like it was always such a conversation with the editors about who's writing what. That was another thing, is like I think Golf Digest has like 4 or 5 people here this week. So there's always a battle for who's going to get the best story. And there's a certain voice that you have to take when you're writing for one of these big publications. You can't say certain things. You can't write stuff that is sort of outside the scope of the headline. And today and yesterday, I just had this feeling of like, I'm just going to write whatever the hell I want to write. Yeah. And it was an unbelievable feeling. And I'm feeling happier to be a part of this podcast and this brand than ever before.
Hell yeah.
That's great to hear. And it really is that way. We just had those upfronts, Barstool upfronts last week, and Danny was there. Pretty much the whole company was there. And Dave talked at the end. And one of the things that he said, and the Hollywood Reporter quoted him on this, and he tweeted about it the next day, just being like, the secret sauce to Barstool is get talented people in the door and then let them do whatever you want or whatever they want. Like, you don't have to run anything by an editor in terms of like what you want to say and what you want to write about. And that really is, as crazy as it sounds and as simple as it sounds, that's how you get the best out of people. And that's how you get them to write about interesting things, about what they want to write about, what they want to talk about, what they want to tweet about. That really is how it works, and that's how Barstool, I think, has been so successful.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Riggs talked to me about when we were first discussing this job was, we don't want to hire you to be the fourth one of us. We want to hire you to do what you do. And I feel like today was actually a really cool day because I did my thing, and you guys did your thing.
Right.
And we're one big team, but we can do different things.
Right.
And you guys were out there and talking to guys and interacting with fans, and I was
we've added a weapon. We just added a weapon.
Right.
Big time.
Like,
It's
good that
somebody else had, and we just put it on our ship, and now we're firing at people.
It's good that you don't feel pressure to be like, all right, I got to be out there with the 3 of them, like handshaking with Zach Johnson and all that. The fact that you can do your own thing, and it's like Riggs is saying, we're just attacking it from all different angles, and I think that is incredibly beneficial to the listeners and to everybody.
And the players out here know the difference between you and us, which is hilarious too. Like that
was the first thing Kisner said.
They give us the time of day that we need. Like they know what our content is out there, is just to really just say what up to the guys, see how they're feeling. The fans and everyone, all the listeners and viewers just like to watch us interact with them as if it's them, because that's just kind of the way that we've always done it. And you could tell the players just like they know that. They'll say hi to us, they'll say how you guys doing, and then they'll be like, where's Dan, like in the media center writing like an incredible piece somewhere or something. It's just like they know already what the dynamic is, which is perfect. And like they'll say hi to us and then be like in the back like, hi Dan. Like they already know you as like a good friend, so it's perfect. It's actually the perfect combination.
Today was a really big day.
Yeah.
I was sort of a little apprehensive or nervous. I don't know. I just didn't know what it was going to be like, but it was totally normal and it was totally seamless.
Did you see some digest, folks?
I did. Yeah, they're cool. Look, everyone understands. Like, I think if you think about my decision and you think about what I left and what I'm joining, you know, if you don't understand that, then I'm not going to be able to explain it to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it to be contentious. Just it's always weird.
It's a little bit weird, but I didn't see the guys who I didn't see my bosses.
Yeah,
right.
right.
So you see your coworkers, and it's like, "What's up, dude?"
Yeah, yeah.
If I saw my bosses, I think it would have been a little bit more testy. But I've been texting one of them. I've been texting Max Adler a lot. You know, seems like pretty normal. It's pretty good.
Do you think they're trying to replace you at Golf Digest?
I don't know. I really don't. I know that they hired a guy, Evan Priest, who's a good Australian journalist, to do some of the PJ Tour coverage.
Okay.
I don't know if that's like a direct replacement. I actually think it might have been in the works before. I don't know. I'm trying not really to think about it because it's really not my problem, and it'll make me feel guilty if I do.
Nah, you're fine.
Yeah, but you know, I like them over there. It's nothing against them. It's just I feel like a fucking rocket ship.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I agree with that. And I would say we've always had a good relationship with Golf Digest.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, our first interview we ever did was with Ashley Mayo before she left Golf Digest.
really,
Never aired.
Never aired.
It was a test episode.
We did a test episode to prove that we could send something to Dave that showed that we could speak to other human beings in an interview format around golf.
in real life.
And have it be in real life.
You think you listened to it?
No.
No,
Nope. But we did it.
no chance.
You think he just saw that there was one and he was like, all right, that's good enough.
It's hard to get inside his brain.
Okay.
Whatever he does
I
works.
don't think he accepted this for a couple of years.
I don't think it was a couple of years.
Really?
I think it was probably like maybe 10 months.
You guys were still at TPC Sawgrass, like
That was
in the middle
a little over a year later. Because
and he was like, "Why are you guys on a golf course right now? Shouldn't you be in the office on radio and shit?"
I think we had a podcast then.
Oh, yeah.
No?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it was a year after.
Oh, you're
we
talking about when he
started the podcast.
accepted. You're not saying when he said you can do a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking when he said you guys can do a
No, no,
podcast.
no.
Oh, when he accepted it, I actually
been
don't know
like
when.
last year.
That might have been a couple weeks ago.
What do you mean? What do you mean accepted it?
Just like Dave, like lets you kind of do your thing when he like acknowledges that you are something that is worth doing your own thing. You know what I mean? And until then, you like better be working on whatever it is that he thought that you should be working on when he hired you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's always like he has these.
So
like,
now he's
lanes
cool
for
with you
people.
like doing this. and
Yeah, he's like,
traveling.
oh no, those guys just have the creative freedom to do whatever they want because they've proven that they have like the Barstool edge and the Barstool runs through our
Mentality.
blood. And like you know, when we wake up, we just think about what you know. We are Barstool at this point. Like we're part of the Barstool culture. It's been so many years that like that's who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at some point he just accepts that and acknowledges it. I mean, he lets you just go. But
Hiring
up
you
until-
is especially proof of that. Like when Dave tweeted out, Riggs texted Dave being like, hey, this is the guy we're thinking about hiring. Do you want to talk to him? And Dave said no. And that means he's giving us the freedom to hire somebody who we think
But up
will
until
be a
you
good
get that
fit.
green light, it's not easy, man.
Prove it.
Oh my god, dude! There's
Yeah.
people in that office right now that like there's a million things but like they have to fucking prove it.
Mm-hmm.
And
They have
it's
to
such
prove
it. The old school. Is that my phone?
Somebody's alarm is going off.
Praying it's not
Somebody take a nap?
I set my alarm for 5:30.
I took a nap, and you know what I got from it. You know, like what I woke up feeling.
What?
How amazing LASIK's gonna be because I had to wake up and put my fucking plastic in my eyes to walk down here to this
You guys have a
podcast.
date or like a target date?
It's gonna be in October sometime.
Oh, it's soon.
Yeah,
Is that right?
it's gotta be.
Yeah, I guess that. Oh yeah, we talked about.
Oh, maybe November. 'cause
In
I can't wear
between,
contacts leading up to it.
2
We're
weeks.
doing a lot of stuff. So
Right.
Maybe
maybe
gonna be
November.
glasses guy for 2 weeks.
No, I'll probably do. Well, yeah, but not on the golf course. But
I
yeah.
was gonna say the old school Barstool was you cut your chops blogging.
Mm-hmm.
You built your brand. You built a relationship with the readership and the Barstool fans, stories, blogging.
Mm-hmm.
And your value, there were much more limited avenues to which you could actually prove yourself valuable. There wasn't TikTok and YouTube wasn't as big for us.
It's just like,
And
can you
it
blog?
was pretty much like you blogged and then like you
And put
maybe tried to
effort
do a
in,
few
like work,
videos.
put numbers behind your work. Like
Uh-huh.
there was blog outputs and time that you got to the office. Like there's a famous video of Riggs walking in at like 9:04 and Dave sitting in front of the elevator being like, "What were you doing?" And Riggs said, "Check the timestamps. I've been working since like 8 o'clock in the morning. I had a blog written in the back." And like it was fucking cutthroat, man. I'm talking 9:04. I once was on a train.
I don't know if I
was
got to
on-
survive.
I was on a train
I
that
can't-
just
a lot of people
stopped,
didn't.
dude. I was on a train that just stopped, and I was just in the tunnel, And I got a text being like, "Where are you right now?" And I said, "I'm on a train." He goes, "You can't live that far away." You have to and
That train can't
that
stop.
next month, I was in the city.
Really?
I moved.
Dude,
I picked up
legit-
I picked up and moved my home.
Him and Erica posted up at a desk at the elevator because the old HQ was so small. There was just one small elevator. You got off and everybody sat right there. They posted up at a desk one day randomly, and everybody got off the elevator after a certain time, which 9 o'clock, whatever it was. They grilled them on why they were late. And luckily that day, I had literally been blogging from my apartment, and I was like, "Why don't you check your fucking timestamp?"
It was you knew you were gonna get the heat too, because like everyone's
Smitty.
texting you. Yeah,
Smitty
Smitty was
texted
texting
me.
you, being like, "Dave's sitting right there." It was fucking cutthroat, but the moral of the story is that you just got to survive it and get through and show that you have what it takes, and then he kind of lets you do your own thing. So that is what the amazing part about this place is.
So yeah, and I think that to Frankie's original point, it was like he greenlit the podcast, but he did say he can't interfere with your actual job,
Right.
which was blog output. And then at the time, it was Frankie being Dave's guy. And then it probably took years till he finally allowed us to like take time out of the office to work on foreplay.
Right.
And even then, it was probably mostly just like me for a while.
yeah, it was a nightmare trying.
And then
to
it was
get-
like Trent.
oh my god,
Right.
and
There was a
me.
while when you stopped blogging and I just kept blogging because I was like, this is it. Like, I don't know if I stop blogging, I think I'm dead. Because the blog output emails that we would get each week, those things keep me up at night. Like,
Oh, yeah.
certain number of views. And I was just like, I got to keep my numbers up or Dave's going to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And then at a certain point, I kind of just like let it go. And nothing horrible happened because we were doing this podcast and we were doing videos and like eventually you just kind of grow out of it.
That's what I thought I was walking into, kind of. I thought it was going to be like really, really cutthroat. And then I started working here and it was like basically the
So
same.
you're hopping on a train
Like,
that's going 400
you know,
miles an hour
they've
right now.
they've
We've
got like
our-
Concur and all these like website. I thought it was going to be
Yeah.
like a total madhouse, but it's like no, there's HR people and there's travel people and it's like
That's relatively new.
yeah, well,
but
it's great.
But it's
Yeah, when I first started working here, I didn't have health insurance for the first like 3 years.
When I started, so my 4-year anniversary. Oh, here we go. My 4-year
Rings just dove
anniversary
across
is
the table.
October 1st. I didn't speak to Trent Ryan
Yeah.
until May of 2019, and I started October 18. He would come in, he would record the podcast. He would finish a blog, come in, record the podcast at like 7 p.m. because Riggs had just gotten off radio and had to eat dinner. We'd record from 7 to 9, and then Trent would go back and finish blogging.
You're a workhorse.
Well, no, it's that's very nice, but it was just that was the way it was. Like
Yeah.
blogging was the way. I mean, when I first started here, and
Did you have a focus or it was just anything?
anything. Originally, it was all Iowa stuff, and then you just kind of
Boobs and coffee.
You just boobs and coffee. You just kind of cover the internet.
Posted every day a picture of a female with breasts basically out drinking
Yeah,
coffee.
she was. It was a naked woman
naked woman
Drinking
drinking
coffee.
coffee every
Nice.
Was it every day?
every day at 9 a.m. Yeah.
you just scoured the internet for a photo that had those.
There's
two
a whole
things in it.
Reddit page now, and maybe you started something. I think
Maybe
there's a Reddit
I
page.
know that I knew where to find him. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, yeah, we were talking about the past a lot, but blogging was a big part of it. And now we're just rolling.
Game time, baby. It's game time in golf because it's President's Cup week. You need to be out here at Charlotte. There's all kinds of energy. We're going to have internationals versus the United States of America, live events, live action. The exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports is
Game time.
Yes,
It's not just
sir.
sporting events. It's definitely the President's Cup. If you're in town, get on Game Time. Last minute ticket offers. It's the best. But you can also go to concerts. You can go to all these different live events. Paramore is a band that I'm obsessed with, and I know that they might be getting back together, and they're, I think, doing a little bit of a New York tour. I'm going to be on Game Time like you wouldn't believe.
I learned the word Paramore in the Thrones episode.
I did too.
I didn't know
Well,
what
let's
that
not
meant.
talk about it right now. Let's just talk about Game Time.
Okay.
Because
But
unfortunately,
you
I
know
made
what I'm
fun of
talking
you
about.
two
I
nights
do.
ago,
Okay.
2 shows ago about not watching it. I haven't had a chance to watch it because we've been fucking traveling the whole world, and no one gave me the travel information to get back to the room in time. So I want to talk about Game Time and
But
get
it's all
in that. I want to get into that. I want to get into that building. When I want to get into a building, the first person I want to go to is Game Time.
Yeah.
Game Time. You download the Game Time app. You go to the account tab to create a login. You redeem code with the code Fore, and you get $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Download that app. Use the code Fore. Get $20 off.
I was thinking today, actually. I don't know why I was thinking about this. Probably because I just have PTSD and just everything always just pops back into my brain. But I remember I was thinking if someone was to ask me what was like what I found to be the most stressful / important day of my job leading up to like maybe that moment when I was thinking about it was I remember that I had to keep from Dave that a dude was going to propose to his girlfriend in the middle of a pizza review. And I remember that being like the most important day of my life because I knew that moment that I knew the way Dave's brain would work better. So I was saying to myself, this video will be better if Dave doesn't know that this guy's about to propose to this girl. And I was like, this was years ago. So I was like young and like, you know, I'm definitely Dave's guy at this point, but like I'm like on the tip of my toes, everything I'm thinking about a million times. And this guy texts me, messages me he emails me. 3 different things I just said there. He emails me and he says, I'm thinking about proposing to my girlfriend. I would love to like make this happen in the pizza review. And I'm thinking, how the fuck am I going to do this? Can't tell Dave because he's going to be better if he just gets natural reaction. Right. So the day of the pizza review, I can't tell Dave, and I also have to let this guy know where we're going to be on the street. So everything has to be natural. So now we have this place picked out, and I have to get Dave to agree to go to this random pizza place. So I'm like, hey, there's this spot. It's on the Lower East Side, and I think we should go there. It's got a bunch of good reviews. He goes, fine, good. I said, you want to go around like 12:30? And he looks at it, and I planned this whole thing. I knew that he had no meetings, whatever. And he goes, yeah, I think that should be fine. So now we're about to get ready for this place. I text this guy, hey, man, it's happening here. We're going to be there at 12:50. I'm going to call the pizza at 12:35. Dave's going to walk in at 12:50. He's going to wait 2 minutes. He's going to come back out. He's going to do the review. At 12:52, you're going to be on this sidewalk. So everything's fine, right? We're on our way to the pizza place, and Dave goes, actually, I have to be like uptown right now after this. Do you want to just do another place uptown? And I said, yeah, I guess so. And he goes, yeah, I definitely have to be like uptown. So like, let's just do something in like the 60s or 70s. And now I'm talking the whole opposite side of the city. And we said this as we're getting in the Uber. So now I got to text this guy. And I found a place that was just a random place on a spot that Dave wanted to go to. And this guy,
how did he get it with his fiance?
So he was shopping in that area, and all of a sudden he just like books it. He's like, "Hey, we should go to the store. I have this. Like, I forgot to tell you, I want to take you to this place." And I guess whatever he did to get this girl out of this Lower East Side area,
it totally didn't set on me that the girl can't know.
The girl can't know.
Definitely can't know.
Oh my God. The girl can't know. So now my heart is through. When I'm telling you, it's bouncing in my fucking neck. And
we got 4 people involved, and 50% of them can't know.
And I'm thinking to myself, Frankie, like this is such an important moment in your career because like it could be an all-time video. This is an all-time moment. And then if you just get this done, if we in the next 20 minutes, if this guy gets on a subway and he meets you at this place, and Dave gets his pizza review, and this guy fucking proposes in the middle, it's gonna be all time. Let's just do it. And fucking, it's somehow when we're doing this pizza review, and I'm looking at him. I'm looking at Dave, and I'm looking out of the corner of my eyes, just hoping that someone just comes into this frame. And would you know it, maybe 30 seconds before Dave finishes this pizza review, you just see this guy stumble in the background with a girl, and like he just walks into Dave, and bang! I'm like, it's go time.
It's a great video.
So you drilled it.
We fucking nailed it,
awesome.
man.
I can see Dave's face in that video.
And Dave's like, what is happening? And he's like, Frankie, they're fucking getting engaged. It was crazy, dude.
That's awesome.
It was crazy. But it's like, it's little moments like that like, that's what Barstool has always been about, is like just getting it done and only thinking about like, how are you going to make something work for the guy that has made something work for 20 years? Like Dave, that's how Dave's brain operates, is like, how is it going to be the best today? So it's like, I just think like that you're a kind of guy like that, where it's like you kind of fit in that mode where it's like you're going to attack each day with like the most creative angle or the most, interesting angle. Like that blog today, like everyone's going crazy over because it's something that like we never would have written. And so like it is such a perfect fit. And I just think that we now have like guys that are completely going 24/7 and having like these creative juices flowing and just like going 24/7, 100 miles an hour. And it's just a good place to be right now.
Definitely.
But I don't know why that popped in my head today. It's just,
it's a good story. I enjoyed it. It was a good story.
Yeah.
It's got to be interesting for you, Dan, because we are now, almost a month into the gig, 3 weeks into the gig. I will say you came at an incredibly travel heavy time.
Yeah.
So it's not like this all the time.
Emma was like, after 2 weeks, Emma's my fiance. She was like, dude. I was like, trust me, it's not going to be like this forever.
It's not like this all the time. But I will say it's not like this super rarely.
Yeah. No, it happened. I get it.
Yeah.
I've been traveling for my old job.
Right. So you get that. But what are your sort of takes about the job? Anything like surprising? Anything that's what you expected?
Yeah, it's more different than I expected. Probably because we haven't had a week like this where I'm at a tournament covering an event.
Right.
This feels like what I was doing before, more or less.
Yeah.
Just with more people saying hi to me while I'm walking around, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like I asked the cop for direct. I was like, "Where's the, bathroom or something?" He's like, "It's over there." And congrats on the new kid. I loved that. Yeah, Scottie Scheffler, number one player in the world, who I hadn't, don't really have a relationship with. He walked right up to me yesterday and was like, "Congratulations."
No way.
Super, super nice.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. In my head, like I thought about kind of these weeks and just doing my thing for a different publication or different website. I didn't think so much about the travel series and the scrambles, but they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Insane.
I'm having an incredible, really year. I mean, I got engaged last October.
Congratulations.
She agreed to move back to California eventually, which is something that I've really wanted to do. And
Congratulations.
thank you, I appreciate it. And got a new job. And thanks, bro.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm happy, guys. Things are good.
And you're joining something that is international and has influence on people like we've never seen before. We were inside this little media room that you were running around in doing your thing, and these Colombian fellas,
Yeah, guys from Colombia. Yeah.
walk over to us. And because the reason I'm thinking about this is because you said that people are saying congratulations to you, and that's actually like a proud moment for us that people think that congratulations
good
are
thing.
in order
Yeah,
for
right.
you to join our podcast.
That's a
Like
good
Scottie
point.
Scheffler, the number one golfer in the world, is like, dude, congrats. Like, what does that say about the brand that we fucking built? That's insane,
Dude, you guys,
Like, how insane is that, dude?
No, it's a good
Scottie
thing.
Scheffler is like, hey man, hey, incredible golf writer that I know that's in the golf world. Congratulations on joining this other thing.
I left Golf Digest,
Golf Digest.
which is like the OG golf publication, to join Foreplay podcast.
Scottie Scheffler's
number one golfer in the world. He said
Dude,
congrats.
not just Scottie Scheffler. Everyone is like, dude, congrats. That's awesome.
That's fucking nuts. But anyway, what blew my mind even more is that these guys from Colombia, and they're called One Putt Colombia, and I would love
OPC. That's
Follow
what that
them.
logo was.
I would love for everyone on here to just somehow, as you're listening to this podcast, go on Instagram and just give these guys a follow. One Putt Colombia. Basically, this guy comes up to us and he goes, "I just want to say hi to you guys. I'm really nervous. This is like meeting Tiger Woods to me." Is what
He said that?
at one point.
He did say that.
He says that
which was
I'm
a
in
lot.
Colombia and I have loved Barstool and I love Barstool Golf, and meeting you guys is like the biggest moment ever for me because I'm trying to show in Colombia how to play and enjoy the game the way that you guys have done. And he's like, now I'm here at the President's Cup, and if you look at their Instagram, they're taking pictures of Camilo Villegas and all these guys, and they're running around.
love him.
They're the
he's
international
their hero.
team. Like, this is their biggest trip that they've ever had. They have like 4,000 followers. They're walking around with mics, and they were just so grateful of like the fact that they found us doing what we're doing in America, and they're like, let's just take that model and bring it to Colombia. It was like the coolest thing ever. They were so genuinely.
I had the chills.
They
when
were so
talking to
genuinely
us.
like thankful for us just speaking on a podcast and like giving them that kind of groundwork like to build on their own.
Yeah.
So I want to give them a shout out.
Yeah, I would think
Fact
that like this whole process has been kind of eye-opening for you guys. It's like a moment in time where you guys can kind of reflect on what you've built and sort of the
crazy.
influence that you guys have in the golf world, because it's very real.
Yeah, and I would say that it's very these types of weeks, when we go to a major, when we go to a big tournament like this, is when you really see it materialize in front of you. Because usually, like you've been a part of the last couple of weeks, a lot of times it's head down, podcast, film a video, head down, you're in a studio or you're on a Zoom with the guys. And you don't really see it, right? You're kind of a part of it, but you don't really like you don't really remove yourself or have the opportunity to remove yourself and look at what it is from the outside. And when we come to these and you see all the different people, or somebody comes up and says that, or people like Scottie Scheffler and people in the media are congratulating you on this, that's when you actually kind of see the impact of it. And it's very eye-opening.
We got a message from producer Jake that Trent was breathing way too heavy into the microphone for
breathing
the whole
into the
entire
mic, I
podcast.
guess.
So, however many minutes we're in, we apologize. Trent, do you want to say anything to the people?
It's hot in this hotel.
I'm hot right now. I'm burning up.
For him to stop the podcast and let us know that the breathing was a problem, it must have been a problem.
Never happened before.
Doesn't matter,
Fire on the
how
podcast.
far we've come, how much influence we have in the golf world.
That was perfect timing.
At some points, I'm just gonna breathe into this mic because I'm hot and I'm out of shape, and that's just how it goes. Are people gonna hear that?
I have the headphones up loud so I can hear it, and I'm also looking at you.
It's hot, bro.
It is hot in here.
I'm burning up. Yeah, turn that AC on. If people might be able to hear, they'd rather hear the AC in the background than me huffing and puffing into this thing.
Wow. Look at this from the merch team. We're making Chevy branded head covers.
Yeah, we're going to have them on our clubs.
That we're going to put
It's
on.
really cool.
These are sick.
I like the first option.
That is cool.
These are sick.
Chevrolet's got just really good branding. Like I really like the way they write their font of Chevrolet is iconic.
Yeah. Look at that.
It's
That just came
changed
across
over the years,
wire
but
in
it
real
stayed
time.
like the same. Like now they have the EV lit up in blue. You probably can't see it because you're colorblind.
I can see that it's a different color. I'm colorblind.
We were out on the range today
mentally
watching
challenged.
the American team warm up. All the guys were out there. It was like, it was a moment. Scottie Scheffler's out there. Colin Morikawa's out there. Justin Thomas is out there. Jordan Spieth is out there. We've been watching them for 15 minutes. And Danny Rapp leans into me and says, "Those shirts are red, right?" I go, "Yeah, those are red." And he's like, "They look gray to me." But by the context clues, I figured they were red.
Well, the shorts looked blue and the hats were white, so I kind of figured they were red.
It's got to be red in there.
Gotta
too.
be red.
What would you guys like to last longer? An awesome football game, a good TV show, a legendary concert?
I'm going to go with sexual intercourse.
Sex.
Me too. Roman wants you to last longer in bed. In fact, they don't want you to just last a little bit longer. They want you, or have a little bit better experience. They want you to have a 340% better in bed performance.
You ever hear that Sammy Adams song? I wanna go all night longer.
I've never heard that, but that sounds great.
Roman swipes are the secret to longer lasting sex. Roman swipes are uniquely formulated to reduce overstimulation without eliminating sensation altogether. The more consistent you are with the swipes, the longer and better your sex will be. Go to getroman.com/Fore to get 20% off your first order of swipes. 340% better.
That's a lot of percentages.
So many.
It's a lot of
percentage
humps. A lot of
More
thrusts.
humps.
It's a lot of thrusts.
What do you think your average number of humps is?
I could go 2 pumps. I'm out. if without Roman.
Depends how long you've been on the road.
Yeah.
It's the Wolf of Wall Street scene
Gotta get those numbers up.
Gotta get those numbers up.
when he first bangs Margot Robbie.
Oh, yeah.
And then he just,
Robbie.
Robbie? Is it Robbie? Yeah. And he comes in like 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh,
He did not have Roman.
He needed Roman.
great scene. It's Robbie.
What a job
Robbie
Leonardo
Fox?
DiCaprio has. My God.
Go to getroman.com/Fore to get 20% off your first order of swipes.
best.
All right, let's get into President's Cup. We're at Quail Hollow. Quail Hollow it should be very well known to people. It's obviously Wells Fargo. Every year we met the Wells Fargo folks today. They're very nice. We might come back for the Wells Fargo, but PGA Championship 2017, Justin Thomas, when he closed it out on the back nine to win his first PGA Championship. And then obviously now they're having the President's Cup this week. They redid the course right before the 2017 JT PGA. And then this week they've rerouted it, which they typically do. They did at Liberty National because match play, a lot of the iconic holes, if a golf course is sort of like a play and it like crescendos towards the end, those holes that are usually the finishing holes and the most iconic, a lot of times won't even get played in a match play environment because somebody wins 3-2 or 4-3 and you don't even see those holes. So I believe the 15th hole is now the iconic 18th.
That's correct.
With the whole creek up the left side. That's where Max Homa got his first ever win on the PGA Tour. That's where Rory McIlroy got his first win on the PGA Tour. On that green, that will now be the 15th hole. That cool par 3 before it, where JT stuffed one with that left pin. That's usually 17 is now going to be 14, and then the first, second, and third holes will be 16, 17, 18. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
What's the
even
reasoning
really
they
know
do this?
Because of the match play versus stroke play.
Right.
Because the Green Mile is usually 16, 17, 18, and it's these three epic, iconic holes. And yeah, they just might not get there. And they've built this incredible, real like it almost looks like Waste Management. If you've been out there, like the build out this week is massive. And yeah, I think they just want everyone to get there, every match to get there.
I wonder what the attendance is going to be like. Has there been any talks about like how many tickets have been sold and stuff? Because these are ridiculous grandstands behind these tee boxes.
Yeah, I think they're going to be. I think it's going to be really big. I mean, the Wells Fargo, I've been a couple times. Always really, really well attended. Charlotte's a golf city. North Carolina is just kind of like a golf state.
Charlotte's
There's a ton of people. Charlotte's great. And
Charlotte's legit.
it's a party. Like
Charlotte is legit.
Yeah, Charlotte's very, very legit. I think it's growing really fast in the last 5 years, and Quail Hollow for the Wells Fargo is always bumping, so I imagine it's going to be even more this week.
I believe next year we are adding for the first time ever a Charlotte stop on the Barstool Classic.
Boom.
Because
Breaking news.
Very nice.
the Queen City Classic, which was tomorrow, sold out so quickly. We have over 300 people on the wait list. And we just looked at all the info
What?
and we're like, yeah,
Are you fucking serious?
144 golfers sold out in about 3 minutes, I think. And then we had over 300 people on the wait list within a half hour. And we were like, well, fuck, we might have to bring the classic to that place.
Did you guys see that there's a guy on Twitter who's been texting, who's been tweeting us 58 straight days, bring the classic to Huntsville, Alabama?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like that guy.
58 days in
I think
a
I
row.
might have muted him.
I don't know, 58 days in a row.
I had a guy tweet at me 365 days in a row to play golf with him, and I did.
You did?
Yeah.
What was he like?
He was awesome.
He was
Yeah, I
normal?
played with him. I was out there too.
Chandler.
I didn't know you guys actually played
Chandler.
with
Yeah,
him.
we played him at a
we
Colonial.
put it out on Twitter and Instagram. He's a
Colonial
big-
in Dallas?
No, our Colonial in Long Island.
in Farmingdale.
Yeah, the Colonial.
The Colonial.
No, he was fucking awesome. He was
Totally normal dude who
Right,
just
you never
tweets.
know what you're going to get with that, right? It could
I don't
be-
think I would play with that guy.
You know, we could be chopped
beat
up
his
and put in
ass.
the trunk. You did beat him. It was
Yeah.
a great match. He's a really nice guy.
really nice.
So
guy.
58 days, we might have to let that get a little higher before.
You know who
No,
else we
he's
have-
got to get way higher.
You know who
It's
else
more
we
than
have
just
to
a round of
play
golf.
with,
That's
and
a-
I don't want him to think that we forgot about it. Even though it's been a year. Tony Ballsack.
Tony Ballsack.
Anthony Testi, I think his name was. He won a Black Friday contest last year. I basically said, if you spend over $100 and you tweet out a receipt at me, I will play golf with you and we'll go to Borelli's and Trent will come along.
We put it in a random generator because a bunch of
Random
people did it,
generator.
and then Anthony Testi's name came up. And
It was like 10,000 names or some ridiculous
Anthony
number.
Testi.
His name was
Tony
Anthony
Testi.
Testi.
Tony
so I called him Tony Ballsack.
That's hilarious.
And I've yet to meet him or really talk to him. Shout out to him. He hasn't like annoyed us or been like, I mean, at some point you got to speak up. I mean, he's got to be like, dude, I won this
Yeah.
thing. I want to play
I'm
golf with
bummed
you.
that I missed Borelli's.
Yeah, I missed Borelli's too. We were at the Long Island Classic, and then it just went on forever. At the end, there was a million putting people. There was a million.
it was a
putts
late
on
start
putts.
too.
Yeah, usually we start around like 9 o'clock, sometimes 8 o'clock, and this one was at 11:30. Something I don't know, but it was okay, and it was. The classic was perfect, and then I guess the restaurant aspect went okay. I mean,
I
everyone
missed it,
piled
too.
in.
We
it
went straight to the
rained.
airport.
I felt so bad for my dad. He had the whole place set up incredibly. Probably the best I've ever seen Borelli set up in my entire life. I'm not even over exaggerating that. He had the outdoor patio going. He had live music. 2 guys playing acoustic guitar. And he had the outdoor bar going for the first time that I've ever seen it operational. All these lights were everywhere. And then he took one of the panels off the outdoor patio and then put the pizza truck that we now have. We have a brand new pizza truck that he's been working on since before COVID. And then during COVID, he couldn't get it operational. And then now he's able to like try and get it to parties. And then when you looked at the outdoor patio, all you saw was this fucking oven just standing right there. Like everything looked amazing. He's waiting for 3 hours for people to get there because they told him it was gonna be 3 o'clock. No one told him it was gonna be a late start for
And then
the
it started
Barstool Classic.
dumping rain.
So he's got this place ready to go. Music's going. The music got there at 4.
Oh,
No one, not one golfer shows up until 6 o'clock. And at 6 o'clock, downpour rain and hurricane winds. Winds are whipping the fucking umbrellas out of the fucking holders and flying them across. People are catching them. They're like, "Oh, do you need help, Mr. Borelli, picking up utensils?" He's like freaking out. Like I think something was like flooding like near the bar over there. He's just like, "What's happening right now?" It's like this has never happened to me in 67 years of business.
I don't like when bad things happen to your father.
And he was stressed out. And
No.
I'm standing there being like, "What the fuck's going on, Dad?" He's like, "I don't know."
Oh, God.
I actually texted, and then I had to go to the airport, and I texted him like, "Dad, everything's gonna be fine. People are gonna love it." I texted MB. I'm like, "MB, can you please just make sure that my dad's like okay, and he knows that everything's gonna be fine. Everyone's gonna love Borelli's, and it is what it is." She texted me a picture of him with 15 guys taking a photo inside. She's like, "You are absolutely not needed, and he's perfectly fine right now."
I kind of
Good.
want my first
Yeah.
Borelli's experience
Yeah.
to be like a nice romantic date with
Oh,
just
yeah.
Emma and myself.
Yeah.
Do it.
I feel like we'll go there as a team definitely many times, but I want to be incognito and just go for like a,
we should go on
a nice
weekend
meal.
in the fall. We'll have the music going, sit
Yeah.
outside,
Yeah.
beautiful weather.
That's what I'll do.
Lobster ravioli.
Lobster ravioli.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Boom.
If you want to book a pizza truck, call me.
Your dad was
That's
telling me
everyone.
about the pizza truck. What an
I gotta get that
operation
thing going. It's an unbelievable pizza truck, and my cousin, who's doing all these artisan pizzas, he does the thin crust, regular cheese. He does the Detroit style, which I think is like the best pizza we've ever come up with. His version of the Detroit style is insane. Trent, you've had it before. You've
It's
had
so
it at
good.
the pop-up shop.
Delicious.
Yeah, But yeah,
Oh yeah, the one in New York.
yeah.
I mean, how long is it going to take me to drive with no traffic from Brooklyn? Like 40 minutes?
yeah, at the most. I mean,
So
it took us
doable.
20 minutes to get to JFK.
It's a nice
Yeah.
date night.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Really good day night. All right, let's get into this event. We've got the United States versus the Internationals. I believe the grand total is 12-1-1. Is that what
11-1-1.
11-1-1? The one tie came when Tiger and Ernie Els went toe to toe
Sick.
in a playoff, and I think it was Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player were the two captains at the
Yep.
time. And Tiger and Ernie, there's a great clip. I think Scratch just put it up like a reel on Instagram that I watched. That was Jack at a separate opening ceremony, I think, or maybe the closing ceremony that year. I think it was a separate opening ceremony, giving the retelling of that year's tie. And then they obviously edited in all the clips of it happening in real time, and it was incredible. But I think it was like their third playoff hole. You know, both teams picked their best player, obviously Tiger versus Ernie Els at the time. And they go tie, and they go to the third playoff hole. That was a really long par 3. And they both hit shots like kind of on the green, barely, and they have like 100-foot putts. Tiger putted it like 20 feet past, and he has like a downhill left to right slider. Ernie hit his to like 8 feet below the hole. Tiger buries in the dark, gigantic fist pump, and then Ernie steps up, pours his in the heart, and everybody goes nuts. And then Jack and Gary Player got together and were like, at this point, it's dark. I think the best thing, let's call it a tie, and they all agreed.
It's a great golf moment.
Really
Who do you think, if there was a tie and the U.S. team had to nominate one player to play that Tiger role? I mean, Scottie's number 1 in the world, but it feels like it would be JT.
It feels like JT, but I will say that Kiz texted me earlier today even and was like, I'm going out on a practice round again with Scottie Scheffler today, and that guy is like God at golf right now. So if he's playing, if he clearly shows throughout the week
Yeah.
the form that he's been showing,
Yeah.
I think it's really hard. I think the stat that we saw, Trent, they threw on TV was JT's career team, so Presidents and Ryder Cup record is like 14-4-1 or something
like that.
It was like,
It's insane.
yeah, it was really, really good.
I remember he went out first and beat Rory in France. That was a statement.
Yep.
He does feel like the emotional leader of the team without Tiger here.
I agree with that.
Yeah, like he's got the fire.
and Scotty's still new.
He's just quiet.
To the scene.
I don't know if he'll ever be that like alpha dog, which is I mean, it's fine. It's the person that he is, but
yeah,
JT's a little more in your face.
I think
I
so
mean, the
too.
2019 Presidents Cup, him and Tiger, it felt like those are the two guys
Totally.
who are going to carry this thing.
Even so, Hannah Cook was out there with us today, and she's never been to a President's Cup like that. And she even said, she was like, JT has an air of like, kind of like leave me alone-ish
Totally.
to him, which I think is right. In these
He carries himself like an athlete.
and I think that translates to what you're saying, which is
Yeah.
like your guy that you probably put in that spot.
Can I make
Unless
a-
he's not playing well.
Can I make a sort of confession? Or I wish the Live guys were here. I really do. And I totally understand it from the PGA Tour's perspective. This is their event. You broke the rules. We told you weren't going to be able to play. I get it. I wish they were here. I'm looking at this list of what the team could have looked like. Cameron Smith, Hideki Matsuyama, Sung Jae In, Joaquin Neiman, Tom Kim, Abe Ancer, Corey Connors, Adam Scott, Louis Oosthuizen, Mito Pereira, Lahiri, and Mark Leishman. It's just a much, much, much better team.
I think we all agree with you. I like, regardless of how you feel about any of this stuff, clearly it'd be a better event if those guys were here.
And I don't think I think it would be better for golf if these team events, and again, I know that the PGA Tour pays for and owns and operates the President's Cup. There is no President's Cup without the PGA Tour. And that's basically what Trevor Immelman said today. Someone asked him, like, have you guys thought about making the President's Cup separate, kind of like how the Ryder Cup is separate? And he was like, yeah, we talked about it, but then we looked under the hood at the like X's and O's and logistics, and it just wasn't feasible. So I get it. I'm not saying this is like a realistic thing. But I think it'd be better for golf if it was just like, who are the best 12 golfers who are not from America and not from Europe, period.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way for the Ryder Cup next year. Like, this is the first event, and I wrote about this yesterday. This is the first event where it really feels like the Live guys are missed.
Yeah.
Because the FedEx Cup playoffs, they're just not that marquee of an event. And also when you have so many players and so much star power, it just, their absence is not as noticeable.
Yeah, we had Rory, Scottie down the stretch. It was great. It's
but like this week, like not having Cameron Smith and Neiman and Answer here, like it stinks.
Yeah, I overheard in that interview room, Billy Horschel was answering, and the way that he answers these questions is so just refreshing. He just tells you really how it is. And he's so thoughtful, and the way he just speaks through his answers is great. I love Billy Horschel now. Not that I didn't, but I used to think he was a lunatic.
He is a lunatic.
He still might
but
be
you
a
love
lunatic.
him. I love lunatics.
Yeah, he was like, I wish that I was playing against those guys. I miss playing against my peers and the best players in the world. Essentially, is what he said. Like, why would you not want to play against the best? He understands why the PGA Tour made that decision. If he was in their position, he'd probably make the same one. But like, yeah, I mean, as a competitor, you don't want to be playing against. And it sucks to say, but it's like the B team, kind of, right? I mean, it's not their version of.
Half the team wouldn't have made the team if the Live guys were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it is basically the B squad, and that
team.
sucks. That sucks for the guys in America. Sucks for Trevor Immelman, who's been waiting.
I feel really bad for Trevor Immelman.
He's probably
love that man too.
like the nicest guy on the planet, and he's got this team. Even though he has a depleted roster, he's got them ready to go.
Right. He's saying all the right things. He's like, because people I'm sure are asking him about it, and he's saying, these are the 12 that I have. These are the 12 that want to be here. And these are the 12 that I want to fight with. And that's the right
And
answer.
not to get all Riggsy Redcoat on it, but like I'd like them to show a little fire.
Of course.
I'm not going to be rooting for them to win, but I want to see the international team like show a little, like after day one, it's like, holy shit, are these guys doing something right now?
If this is a blowout, this event could be on life support.
And that sucks because the last President's
was awesome.
Cup, and it wasn't.
So good.
It wasn't just that it was like we got lucky and it was awesome. Like Trevor Immelman and Ernie Els and that crew did such a good job to rejuvenate the entire event from the international side. And they talked a lot about it with the rebranding, coming up with the logo. They rock like the black and a little bit of gold. And they got everybody together multiple times throughout 2019 leading up to Royal Melbourne, because everybody comes from different cultures and different languages, and they wanted to have parties and get-togethers and dinners so that when they showed up a week before, the week of the event, it wasn't just like, oh yeah, you're playing with this guy who speaks a different language, like good luck. It was like, oh no, this guy's on your team. He's been on your team for a year or two. He's one of your boys. And they put so much effort into that, and that carried over to they should have won. They literally should have won in 2019. They had a 2-point
held the lead the whole time.
They were so close to going up 8-2 after the second session of the entire thing. If it weren't for like JT and Tiger and a couple heroics down the stretch on Friday, they literally would have been up 8-2, and it's basically over. You only have to get to like 15 points. And they were that close to beating a team that team should never have a chance. They do all that hard work, the rebranding, building it out. The event was the crowd, and even like the Patrick Reed situation and Kessler Crane added to the event. I mean, the most unliked USA players caddy punched a guy in the crowd in Australia. Like, what are we talking about?
And then
That's
remember,
awesome.
Patrick Reed did like the shovel thing too. It was right after the World Hero where he had his sandcastles. It
and
was
that-
and Tiger was the playing captain, and he was playing unbelievable.
Best
He
golf
was
ever.
carving that course apart.
He was
total control of his trash.
It was a masterpiece. He was hitting little like spinners off the hills
It was
to
amazing.
tight pins and like just painting his masterpiece around that place. And it was the best event they could have possibly hoped for, even with their fake fans that Frankie and Trent unearthed.
You think we're gonna see them this week?
No.
No, I don't think they need him.
Out here,
Yeah, might not need him.
in Australia, they needed him. Here, no.
I think
it
the PGA Tour
sucks.
makes decisions that are sometimes not the right ones. I think the fans are going to be back.
That was that was very diplomatic. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Not the right
that.
one.
Yeah,
That would have been a different way you would have said that a couple years ago.
yeah.
But
Fucking stupid.
now that they're in this position, I feel so bad for Trevor. And we're not trying to put pity party. We're not trying to say the whole thing's over, because I'm still excited to tune in.
Totally.
Seeing these guys wear the same outfit and they come out as buddies, and even if they do blow them the fuck out, you're going to get to see how Max Homa does in a team event. You're going to get to see how Kiz does, who I've been obviously touting for years and years. Like, you're going to get to see some of the newer guys come in. Who are they going to get paired with? You have Morikawa now, who doesn't have DJ, so it's like, who's he going to get paired with? You're going to be able to see a lot of that as sort of a like, all right, we got the Ryder Cup coming up next year on the road in Rome. Haven't won one on the road in a long time. What's our team looking like? It's going to be really fun to tune into, but I couldn't agree with you more on that. This is the first time where it's like, man, it's a bummer about the live thing, because this week could be off the charts. And if you get into a moment where it's like the internationals could have a stretch down Could a moment down the stretch to actually win against the U.S. for the first time ever on foreign soil, like that'd be awesome.
It's just
It'd be fun to watch.
I'm really upset that we're not going to get to see Cam Smith against Justin Thomas in singles. It's just like Cam Smith is like the number 2, arguably the best player in the world right now. You could make a really strong argument, and he's not here, and it's shitty. And I was looking back at that 2019 team, and Smith, Neiman, and Answer have all made like significant strides since then.
Yeah.
So it'd be like an even better team.
Right.
The fact that the PGA Tour didn't allow live players to play in this basically proves to us that they're never going to allow a coexistence, right? Or else they would have just done
Absolutely
it here.
Yeah, it's
Because
not
like
happening.
now they're going to maybe lose their biggest event, like international event.
Yeah, I don't know. They asked Billy today about, would you want to play in a live versus PGA Tour event? And his answer was kind of what you were talking about earlier. Like, as a competitor, yeah, I would love that, but like, it's never going to happen.
Right.
You got to think of it from a PGA Tour's perspective. It doesn't benefit them at all.
But do you think there's any world in which, if you were the PGA Tour, you could have a week ago said, "Nah, we're gonna let him play"?
I don't think there were like rules against it. I don't know. I really don't
the
know.
only
I think it
reason
would have
not-
brought them a lot of goodwill, because this isn't a live event, right? This is very much a PGA Tour event. And they could have said, look, in the spirit of this event, in the spirit of international competition, in the spirit of growing the game, we're going to let these guys play.
Yeah.
And
And people would have loved it.
right. And is the only reason not? Is it just like ego, pride? Like, can you just not go back? Is it part of the legal case? Like, would they have had a legal issue if they would have done?
I'm
that?
sure it's a lot more thorny and complicated than we think it is. I'm sure.
'Cause that would have
I'm
been
sure
an
it is.
incredible
But
move if they were
it
like,
would
you
have
know
been-
what? Nah, we're gonna let it play.
It would have been a gesture of goodwill. Like, and I don't think it would have. It's not like they would say, okay, you can play in every PGA Tour event now. It wouldn't have been like, oh, you're back on the PGA Tour. It was in the spirit of the President's Cup and in the spirit of growing the game, we're going to make a one-time exception. I'm sure there's a lot of reasons why, and I'm sure one of the PGA Tour officials will come up to me tomorrow or Wednesday and be like, here's why that was the dumbest thing ever that you just said. But from a fan perspective, I think it would have
What
been
golf's all about.
It would have been a much better product.
It would be so hypocrite. You just can't.
Yeah.
They have to say no.
Yeah.
It would just open up way too many doors for guys to be able to complain and say you're hypocritical and say, like, if we could do this, why can't we do this? And other guys are gonna be like, oh, I can go play and live and I can play in the President's Cup. Like the next time they'd have to do that as
Yeah.
well. I mean, now you're justifying the President's Cup in 2 years because
Right.
you're gonna say,
Yeah, then
I mean,
you
that
got-
live in 2 years.
I think what
Then
they
you got no leverage.
I think it initially was because I remember in the first memo that they sent out when the guys were going to play in the first live event in London, they were like, you're not going to be able to play in the PGA Tour events or in the President's Cup. So I think that they were trying to use it as like a deterrent, right? Like, this is a really big event and you're not going to be
Who
able
knows?
to
It
play.
might have worked for some people.
It might have worked
that
for
are
some
still
people.
there,
Yeah,
you know?
there's a chance that we see a couple guys go in the weeks after this, and they
Yeah.
basically were holding off for this. I don't think it's going to happen, but
How tight are they with spots on live right now?
it's tight.
Like, if you wanted to go, even you have to be a pretty big name.
You
at
got to,
this
yeah,
point.
you got to be a pretty. I know there was a couple. We talked about this. I think a couple top 50 guys who sort of directed their agents to be like, sniff around, get me an offer, and they were like, sorry, we're closed for business. But if Hideki called them on Monday and said, I want to come, they would move mountains to have him.
Yeah.
Sling TV has something for everyone. All your favorite shows on your favorite channels, all right at your fingertips. What you watch is up to you. It really just depends on what kind of mood you are in. So if you're looking for sports, Sling's got you covered with pro and college football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, racing, and so much more. You guys watch a lot of racing?
Not really.
I watched.
I
I started
could get into it if-
Formula One.
I can get into it if it's on. And I
Did
got
you watch
nothing
the
else to
show?
watch.
Yeah, it's because of the show.
I watched Red Zone on Sling TV, and it was like the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I was on my way to the airport, and I was trying to keep up with my fantasy team, keep up with the Jets, and I was like, how the hell am I going to watch NFL Sunday? It was right there on my phone, Sling TV. It was unbelievable.
Feeling adventurous? Explore thousands of movies and shows on demand. What kind of mood are you in? No matter what your answer, Sling has what you need. Getting Sling is easy. Sign up and start watching in just 5 minutes. You can stream on any device and record up to 50 hours with included DVR space. Best part is you can pause or customize your subscription at any time. Check out sling.com/barstool for special offers. Sling, the TV you love for a price you'll love. Trust us today. That's sling.com/barstool. Who's the first guy out on Live? Who's 48th?
Oh, I don't know. It's got to be like one of those guys from the Asian tour, like Scott Vincent or Jediah Morgan or
I don't even know who those guys
Yeah,
are.
that's the whole point.
They're fucking out.
They're out of here.
Somebody's coming for that spot.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think we even mentioned on the last show that Cam Smith just won on the Live Tour last weekend.
Beat DJ.
What was your take on the Bryson versus the rope?
Yeah, I mean that guy just can't really stay out of his own way, can he?
So you couldn't see.
It was.
Can't even see right now.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of telling, like when people get hit in the face or something like happens to them, how they react in those first minute.
100%.
I feel like it says a lot about a person.
Yeah.
And he was rude. He was rude,
Especially when it's their fault. Like if you get punched in the face, you can react however you want.
Yeah.
But when you walk into a rope that is there,
Yeah.
that's on you. And then when you start blaming people immediately, it is telling.
Like I saw Dave's tweet. He was like, he was never getting under that rope.
They lifted the rope. They did. They helped. They like lifted it up. He was walking with a perfectly high posture towards a rope. They lifted it up as high as they could, and he just didn't bend down fast
And
enough.
it wasn't just they. The last person seen holding the rope is his caddy.
Right.
So him being like, "What the fuck, guys?" That'd be like if I just walked into that door frame right now and I was like, "What the fuck, architect?" Like Jesus. And I'm
Right.
like, "Well, no. I mean, the door frame. It's just there. Like, you walked
Right.
into it.
No,
That's
it's
on you.
bad.
You can't be mad at the door frame or the guy.
Probably the most views a live moment has ever gotten.
We didn't even
Had
mention
to.
Cam
That thing
Smith.
went dumb viral.
it did.
We didn't mention Cam Smith, and we talked for 30 minutes about Bryson walking
true.
into that rope.
Yeah, but it just shows you it's a sideshow right now as far as competition goes.
Felt good to
So
gather
it's-
around the campfire and talk about Bryson DeChambeau again, though.
Yeah.
we don't
Wow.
get we don't get many of those moments anymore.
the logo.
Funny
Yeah.
tweets, man. Those were some funny tweets yesterday.
Should we change the logo to Bryson getting hit by like a rope?
Just put a rope across it.
Yeah, we got to change that logo.
We saw Zach Johnson today.
We did.
You really good dap.
Yeah, man.
It was like symmetrical. You
It's-
guys met in the middle.
We did. It's mesmerizing. I had Jake Bass put a gift together, and it's mesmerizing. We just boom. Yeah, I like that he's now in our world. For a long time, he was in our world.
Everyone's in your world, dude. I don't know.
No, but I mean what I mean is I always talked about Zach Johnson on the show. I always defended him. Masters champion, Open championship winner at the old course. You know, Cedar Rapids guy. So I was always fighting for him, and then we got him on the show. These guys backed down a little bit, and
calling you out.
And now, so when
Back down a little bit, but
you
that's
did.
pretty like
Standard.
standard.
That's
practice
super standard for
us.
us. And I
We
would
just heard Billy Horschel. We love Billy Horschel.
right. All
I
right.
think
It
I
wasn't.
used to literally sign off my blogs with just fuck Billy Horschel.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Is that
like,
right?
Oh yeah,
I've
just for fun. I mean,
I've backed down in many situations with guests on this podcast, so it wasn't anything new. But now when we see him at these tournaments and he's on comms at the President's
Oh
Cup,
my God,
he's
so
in
good.
full Zach Johnson mode.
Putting his hand over his thing.
He loves himself a good earpiece.
He was everyone on comms, and the guys who were on comms were right next to him.
yeah, Webb
So
Simpson.
good. Webb Simpson's like, yeah, I'm right here.
and I don't like Billy Horschel. I love Billy Horschel.
Yeah.
He makes me laugh. He's absolutely
He's a character.
He's
We like
energetic
char-
to watch.
We like
Like,
characters.
yes, you have to watch him now. Like everything he does is entertaining. His press conferences, like you said, Frankie, he's just blunt. He doesn't give a fuck. I love Billy Horschel.
adapt up Zach Johnson, and the first thing he wanted to talk about was Iowa football. That's a dream for
Yeah.
me. That's an absolute dream. And no matter what I accomplish at Barstool Sports in my life, the thing that my parents are going to be the most proud about is that I get to talk to Zach Johnson when I see him at
Is
these
he a
events.
hero in Cedar Rapids?
Absolutely, there's a street named after him.
Yeah.
He is.
Zach Johnson Street.
Yeah, Zach Johnson Drive, I believe. He is as
Does he
big.
like live on it?
No, it's so he.
My address, Zach Johnson, 123
He,
Zach Johnson Drive.
So he grew up playing at this place called Elmcrest Country Club, and the drive up to Elmcrest is Zach Johnson Drive now. So yeah, he is huge there. My dad and my uncle cried when he won the Masters. Like it's a big fucking
And he also
deal.
said, "I'm just a guy from Cedar Rapids, Iowa," in
Oh.
his press conference, which I feel like just went right to the heartstrings.
I mean, I'll start crying right now.
Dude, he like kind of double hand blessed you at the end of that gift.
He did.
Great to
see
see you
that?
guys out here, and then just kind of blessed you.
Yeah,
I
no.
didn't get my hands on him.
Dude,
People
he
think
did.
that I was
he
cowarding.
he shook Trent's hand. Then he put his other hand on top of Trent's hand.
That was crazy.
incredible.
he didn't need to do that.
No, he didn't. And it's a cool thing that we got going on, that when we see
Yeah.
Zach Johnson at these events, he's like, those are those guys. I'm going to go over and say hello.
Webb Simpson.
Webb Simpson, super nice guy. You know, we can talk about him behind his back like we always do on this podcast, like we do with all these athletes. And I mean, I call him vanilla pudding. I call him very, very, bland. I say that he's boring. meeting him today for the first time, I mean, what a fucking nice guy.
Yeah, but nice and boring are not
It's
mutually
fine.
exclusive.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
He knows he's boring.
He knows
Boring
he's-
to watch play
Well,
golf.
I was actually looking
He's
at
vanilla
this.
pudding.
I was looking at this, and I think that the U.S. like just captain squad is like one of the more vanilla. You got Davis
time.
Love III, Zach Johnson. No disrespect.
Yep.
He's nice, but he's a little vanilla.
Okay.
You got Webb Simpson, and there's one more who
Steve
I can't
Stricker.
remember. And Steve Stricker. It's like none of those have cursed in the last fortnight.
Where's Webb Simpson from?
He's
Like,
here.
from, like,
He
here?
lives on the golf course.
Oh, does he?
He lives off the 7th. I actually don't know if it's the 7th hole. I think it's the 7th hole, but there's a par 5. It's on the front 9, and there's incredible homes on the right side. All
I
down
noticed the
right
homes on the
side.
drive up. It's crazy
Yeah,
out
there's
here.
And then
big
he-
mega mansions.
Yeah.
Also, he owns a home 5 minutes from Pinehurst in Country Club in North Carolina, which is where Frankie and I both played 12-year-old Pete.
Yeah, that's right.
Interesting.
Where 12-year-old Pete and his dad Mike, who are incredibly nice people, that's where they live. And Webb Simpson has a house there.
He's just so nice.
He and I bond over that area.
Went to
a
Wake
lot,
Forest.
'cause
He's North Carolina through and
The
through.
reason I asked is because there were a bunch of Midwest guys in there, and I was wondering where. Webb
yeah, he
Simpson
takes
was
his
from.
kids out to like the Cradle all the time. That's,
Yeah.
he's one.
you
with
see him
this
there,
whole area.
Thomas?
Yeah, he had a hobby hat on that he bought.
Sick.
I know. I have a selfie of him that he sent to kids of him wearing an Ain't No Hobby hat that he just bought online.
It won't be long before Webb Simpson is on this podcast.
He'll
At
be
some
on the
point.
show. I think we could have got him today. I just forgot to ask.
That's all right.
They're busy this week. It's tough. We were talking to
We
a
don't
few
get
guys.
him at the right time.
Yeah,
It's all
We had a
team.
lot of
We were talking to a-
potential guests.
We were talking to a bunch of guys, and they were like, "Yeah, dude, like I got to go on the team bus, and there's the gala tonight." You know, I think a lot of these guys, when they're playing normal events, when they leave the golf course, they're kind of done.
Yeah.
That's not the case this week.
I mean, today we were going to get Kiz, and then so Riggs texted Kiz, and he said, you want to do the podcast? He's like, yeah, I'm around. And then we said, all right, we're coming to you and doing this podcast. And then he said, oops, like the team bus is leaving in 10 minutes. So he had no other option. Had it been a regular week, he sticks around no problem, does
Jumps in
25,
his
30
courtesy
minutes.
car,
Yeah.
hopefully from Chevy.
Yeah,
and rolls
gets
out.
in a Chevy car and rolls out. But now it's like you can't miss the team bus. We were talking about that too. Like imagine missing that. It's one of the funnest parts of their week.
Can't miss
That's
him.
what they love
Camaraderie,
about
you're on
this
the
week.
bus. Yeah,
like this is those pictures. Those pros like hang the team pictures in their houses. Like these are the
Yeah.
weeks that they look back on because it's 1 week a year and it's always a different cast of characters.
yeah.
And so you look back on it in 30 years and you're like, fuck, I forgot that Billy was on that team or
Yeah.
whatever it is. So
They're
they're
not going to miss it.
they
to
don't wanna miss
fucking
that.
Sit here with us goons.
No.
Yeah.
Billy was taking advantage of like having the team aspect. We saw him on that par 3 over the water, and he was just really, really trying to talk shop with all the guys, being like, I think you can get it up on this ridge here, and you can go high. You don't have to go into it. Like he was saying this to Scottie Scheffler at one point. And it was funny watching Scottie kind of be like, oh yeah, all right. And then at one point, Billy was like, I can't get this ball to stop by this pin on this right side. I've gone low, I've gone high, and then Scottie kind of just threw his TaylorMade high toe at it and just stopped right next to the fucking hole. It's just a different skill.
It does seem like they're kind of looking up to Scotty right now. Like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
the guy. Yesterday, he was playing. I think it was Billy, Kevin Kisner, Scotty, and Sam Burns, and they were on one of the drivable. I think it's normally 15. It's 11 this week. It's drivable par 4 with water left, and Billy goes first and just pipes one, right to the front of the green. He's like, "Oh, you want to play these last couple holes for $500?" And Scotty is like, "Oh, we could play for whatever you want, but you have to re-tee. You can't just hit a perfect shot and then tell me that we're playing for $500."
Yeah.
Which I thought was a super respectable move.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Billy piped it again.
Wow.
It's a professional golfer.
That is, man.
Wow. I like that.
If you hit a perfect one and someone tells you to re-tee, it's in the woods.
Oh,
For all of us.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. Golf course is getting a lot of praise right now. All the guys are raving about it. Greens are fast. They are really, really fast. We did watch guys on the right side, which what you were just telling about Scotty and Billy down there.
What hole is that?
On the right side of the old 17th, which is now the 14th.
Okay.
Hitting chips from this little like chipping area swale on the right side. And it was hard for them to stop the ball near the hole.
If that pins the back right, it's going to be nasty.
Nasty, Ben. Nasty.
The rough's a little longer than I thought it was going to be.
Trevor Immelman, Masters champion, said that this place reminds him of Augusta National.
He said that to our face.
Said that to his
This
face.
is one of the clubs that has the most overlap with Augusta as far as members. There's a
Wow.
lot of members of Quail Hollow who are members of Augusta. It's a lot of like Charlotte banker
Really?
businessmen. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think I was hearing from some folks too, because there's always the question of like, why are they bringing the President's Cup to Quail Hollow when there's just a PGA Tour event here every year, and there was a major here 5 years ago. Like, why there's so many courses in the United States of America that they could just go? Why don't they showcase one of these other cool ones? Which is a fair point. It's actually the one that I hold, even though I do think Quail Hollow is amazing. It's one that I hold. It's like, show me a new course. But I believe there's a lot of their partners, sponsors, business partners, et cetera, also that are the CEOs or the bigwigs at a lot of the companies that they do business with on tour, that are on their board on the tour, whatever, are also members out here and like on the board at Quail Hollow. So I think there's a lot of politicking going on. Shout out to House of Dragon to make sure that the President's Cup comes here.
Charlotte's big business. We were like what we were talking about earlier.
Fucking big business
Charlotte's a
banking.
big city, man.
Good airport.
Like, there's power brokers here.
Amazing food options at the airport here.
Okay. Get
The airport?
I wasn't a fan of the airport. Were you?
Well, you guys get fucked hard.
No.
We
I
got
wasn't a fan
royally
of the airport.
fucked. Raw.
Do you think you'll ever be on a board?
Of what?
Jesus.
I don't know.
You could be on the board of Barstool. Is there a board of Barstool?
Maybe a milking board.
Oh, there's a board of Penn.
Yeah, that's something I don't think I'll ever be on that.
I don't think so either.
We're not looking good for that. No.
I just people always say like, yeah, I'm on the board of this. It's like, that's pretty cool.
You could be on the board.
I think we can I think we'll end up having a board for Barstool Golf at some point. I think it's going to get to that level where we like all talk about big picture ideas.
Who do you think would be our first person we try to recruit?
Kevin
to the board?
Kisner.
On the board,
Kiz?
Kiz would be a great board member.
He'd be good on the board.
Kiz is probably on 15 boards.
Barstool Golf board, Kevin Kisner's got to be on one. And then I also think you get Slugger White.
Just to keep us in line.
Yeah.
Is Slugger?
Yeah, dude, they paid him a bag
He's a live guy.
to come out of.
I missed this.
He came out of.
Slugger got the bag.
He came out of retirement to go to live. and I saw him. I saw him. I saw him at the first two events, just
legend. I know.
dripping in hair dye. That hair is like as red as ever.
We all agree that's
Looking
the
like Rudy
greatest thing you've ever
Giuliani?
heard,
Yeah,
right?
it's-
Regardless of your stance on live, that's like the funniest, most incredible thing you've ever heard.
They-
that
they took Slugger.
White, the rules guy from the PGA Tour, came out of retirement to get the bag
Dude,
from
he
the
had-
Saudi Arabian government.
He had this like big.
What are we talking
He
about?
had this big goodbye where like all the players
Yeah.
like gave him a goodbye. And then, like a year later, he was back at live.
Wow, that's a
buzzing around
huge
them.
get.
Huge guy.
Bigger than the 48th player,
Yeah.
by far.
Way bigger. And getting Faraday. Him and like Faraday. That's like
Jeez.
golf culture, man.
Dude, that's nuts. The offer still stands.
Still takes
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
Kiz is definitely up there.
Oh yeah.
Sawhith. I would like him on the board. He's just a smart motherfucker. Guy plays so much chess. I would like
A lot
him.
of chess.
And I think
He's
he'd
very
bring
strategic.
he'd bring like a new age. I mean, the guy he grew up playing video games. He's like my kind of guy. I like him a lot. I want to play him in a match too. Make that happen.
We'll
Dan.
make that happen.
You're barking out orders. You sound like you're on the board.
Texas, we got to go to and play him, right?
Yeah, we'll do that.
He's Houston.
Houston.
I mean, after I heard how many games he actually does play of chess, I think he's become one of my favorite people on tour.
Yeah. It's cool when
It's like
guys
40
have like a thing.
Yeah.
4 hours a day of chess. Is that what it was?
You said like 4 to 6.
4 to 6 hours a day of chess.
Guy needs like a girlfriend or something. So many hours. of chess.
It's crazy.
After golf rounds too. It's like if I came back from a PGA Tour event and how tournament golf is just the most tiring thing of all time mentally. The last thing I would want to do is play chess.
He's got youth. He's youthful.
Yeah, he is.
True. So we got what's Thursday? Alternate shot.
Thursday, I believe, is alternate shot.
They lead with alternate shot.
Let's check it
You're
out.
telling me I'm gonna wake up Thursday.
That's tough.
I'm gonna get some team golf and I'm gonna see a little alternate shot
It's
right
tough
out
for
of
the
the
players to just get right into that. You have no momentum, no flow. You know what I mean?
gate.
It's like a slow week because there's only one session for the first 2 days.
I wonder why they do that. It's a little bush league. if you ask
Money.
me.
They want it to be a 4-day event.
That's what Riggs and I we were talking about. That is that what it is? The gate.
It's got to be.
It's a little bush league.
What else would it be? 5? No, I was totally wrong. Thursday, that was 2019.
Oh, but they do 5 matches.
they do
not
5.
4.
Yeah, there's 30 points.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Foursomes. Okay, we were right.
Okay.
Final answer.
Alt shot.
Alternate shot on Thursday doesn't start till 1 p.m.
What?
He's got this all on his iPad, by the way.
What?
It's on his iPad.
Yeah, he's zooming on his.
You got like a robot iPad. Look
Yeah.
at that fucking
So
cake.
it starts at 1 p.m. on Thursday?
Starts at 1 p.m. on Thursday.
Daddy's getting some sleep on Wednesday night.
Friday starts at 11:30. Saturday starts at 7 a.m. because it's 36 holes.
All right, I'll see you guys later on that one.
And then Sunday starts at 12.
Okay.
It's a chill. I'm telling you, it's a chill ass week.
Yeah, it is.
Like as far as
Dude,
golf.
once we're done with this bullshit we're doing right now, this podcast,
Watch some golf.
are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a couple drinks and
I
just
know.
hang out for the week and watch.
I do want to
golf.
enjoy this one. I think that this one's it's going to be more laid back. Like when we were in Australia, we were really stressed out. We flew across the country. We flew across the world
Flew
to try
across
and
a
get
bunch of countries,
content.
really.
Well,
And we were just like, fuck, man, we're in Australia. We got to get shit. We were really stressing out. I remember I was like barely sleeping thinking about like, why the fuck are we out here? This is insane.
everything changes though if a man named Eldrick touches down at any
And
point.
he did. Oh, for
I'm
this.
talking about this time around.
Yeah, when Eldrick is on property, we got to get our hands on him.
Yep,
Yeah.
he's the golden snitch.
It feels like it's not going to happen. Danny, I don't know if you heard anything
Where's
today
Tiger?
about it, but
Actually, I'm kind of kicking myself for not asking the guys if he was coming.
I'd still to this point be blown away if he didn't show up.
He's got to be here tomorrow. If he's not here tomorrow, he won't show
loves
up.
this shit.
Yeah, he loves this shit, and
And
he's
he just rides around in a cart.
and he's mobile enough. He played in 3
Made
majors.
2 cuts in majors.
Yes, he's definitely okay. Yeah,
I saw a notification today too.
that. What
A notification.
we call them notifications.
what happened? What did I say?
Whenever Nota Begay gives an update on Tiger, we
Yeah.
call them notifications
It's funny.
because they're always
He said he's got, like, one more run in him or
NOTAH.
something.
Yeah.
Said, I think this is a notification. I believe Tiger's got at least one more win in him. I know he's got another run in him. So the guy's got another run to win on the PGA Tour, and he's not going to show up and drive around in a fucking car. with his
and
girlfriend.
he was. I mean, they had that secret meeting about a month ago now.
Yeah.
PGA Tour, like a show of power would be Tiger Woods showing up at this event.
crazy.
Showed up
he's
to
not at
that,
this event.
Fucking dragged Ricky Fowler to that event.
He wants to. He
Support the
he's
PGA
gonna,
Tour.
Yeah, this is the ultimate support of the PGA Tour. Make this event and the people that are here make this a memorable one by just letting people get their eyes on you.
You know what's gonna happen? He's gonna show up right when we're at Queen City Classic.
Don't say that.
Give me, I'll fucking teleport out of there so fast.
We'll leave so fast.
I will leave the Queen City Classic tomorrow, even though we love it.
We're gonna. I mean, we're
No.
content.
Sorry,
Now the
I
energy,
won't leave then. I'll just stay.
No, he's Danny's. That's the right instinct. That's a content guy. If Tiger Woods is there,
I'm gonna poke around tomorrow morning.
okay.
Another one you got to learn is Ricky Shea shot. Anytime somebody slips in like,
Ricky Fowler.
wow, that guy's got 5 wins. That's one more than Ricky Fowler. That's a Ricky Shea shot.
That happens a lot.
All the
What was the
have
one
you
we did
given him a
recently?
Ricky Shea shot? You think in any of your pieces?
Definitely.
This guy hasn't won since.
Rory Sabatini has more wins than Ricky Fowler.
Oh,
so.
that's a Ricky Shea shot.
Oh, you had done when Ricky goes to at one point Ricky went to Tiger's house and talked about the experience. You called it Ricky Leaks.
Oh, that's
Oh yeah, when he went where they watched the Masters together.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
that's right. That one took us a while. I think we botched that one for a while, and then I finally came up with Ricky.
That was a
Leaks.
good one.
Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, to run, and to grow your business. Shopify gives entrepreneurs, that might be you out there, ladies and gentlemen, the resources once reserved for big business so upstarts, startups, and established businesses alike can sell everywhere, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed. It's a battle to run a business. There's no doubt about it. It's just a battle.
Yeah, we get a little taste of it. We talk about it usually when we're talking about Shopify. About Foreplay Barstool Golf is a bit of a business that we try to run. It's complicated at times.
They have a suite of services including payments, marketing, shipping, and customer engagement tools. Shopify instantly lets you accept all major payment methods. You, listeners, should go to shopify.com/Fore, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's incredible suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/Fore right now. That's shopify.com/Fore.
I got something to say.
Let's
Okay.
hear it.
It's a little off topic.
That's really
shocking.
surprising.
People got to stop eating sleepy chicken. Have you seen this?
No.
They're dipping chicken thighs in NyQuil. It's a new TikTok trend. It's a
That sounds electric.
It's a new TikTok trend. People think it's going to let them go to sleep after they eat their dinner, and it's just incredibly, incredibly dangerous.
Why is it dangerous? Because NyQuil's bad
Like
for you?
yeah, like the FDA, whatever FIC, whoever's coming out with this shit.
Just eat turkey.
What'd you call it? Night chicken?
Sleepy chicken.
Sleepy chicken?
They got to
Yeah,
stop doing
tryptophan.
this. You're basically just dipping it in fucking like
Poison?
hardcore medicine, and you just can't be eating that stuff. So I just want a PSA to everyone saying that I'm on the stance of stop eating sleepy chicken.
This is the new Tide Pod.
Yeah, were you anti Tide Pod as well?
I was. I mean, come on, dude. I agree that they did look very, very
Tasty.
tasty. I love a nice gummy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love the
gummy look to
sensation of it.
Oh yeah.
The sensation of sweezing something in between your teeth is incredible. Blue Gummy Sharks, come on.
Let's be honest. Sleepy Chicken is a great name.
It's a great name.
We're doing Sleepy Chicken tonight.
If you get NyQuil, I will fucking definitely.
No, you can't. We can't be doing it. It's dangerous.
Fucking hired you.
And then I want to say this, that I'm ready to mark my favorite candy in the world, and I'm going to stand hard behind it.
Oh, I know where this is going. If you
Wait,
are ready,
can I guess?
I'm ready to do this.
You
Is
certainly
it,
can.
Is there
guess.
chocolate?
No. So I actually put chocolate in its own category. I do think it is a form of candy, but if I'm talking strictly candy, I want to be seeing colors. I want to be seeing gummies. I want to be seeing sugar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sugar to me is candy. Like straight sugar.
What
no
were
sugar.
those like Skittles that were covered with like a crazy amount of sugar? Sour Skittles.
Sour Skittles.
That's
So
my guess.
good.
really good?
But
No.
not it.
Nope. The best candy in the world are Nerds gummy clusters. I'm not kidding. Number one.
Did you have them today?
Yep.
Where were they?
I bought them last night.
Oh, nice.
I actually don't know if I've ever had one.
Bro, I'll go up to my room right now and grab some for you guys, although it is really far, so I probably won't be doing that. But after the podcast, I'll give you some.
Okay,
I think they have perfected every aspect of the candy. I think the crunch is all time because it's a little bit of Nerds.
Crunch is key. You gotta
And then you dip your fucking teeth into this thing, and there's that goo on the inside. It's the rope. It's the Nerds rope. So a Nerds gummy cluster is basically Nerds rope in circle form, and you just pop them in like that popcorn. But it's that sensation of going from the hard crunch to the gooey inside, and you've got that fucking sugar going down your throat when you fuck. It's like refreshing.
You know who I have to call right now to get his take on it?
Who?
Trotty.
Oh my god!
he
I
a
don't know that
candy
he's
guy?
ever had a fucking Nerds gummy cluster though.
Let's
I was
call him.
thinking you got to call
It's also
Clem.
11:30.
I was thinking Clem was the first name I
It's
thought.
11:30 over there. Is he? Oh no, he lives in California.
He does.
Assumed he lived in England.
Rigsy boy. He's gonna. What a legend this guy's gonna be on this call right now.
They're so good, actually. They have my stamp of approval.
Where is he? He's in California. So it's 3 hours behind right
It's 3:30.
3:30s and work.
What the fuck's this guy doing? Making pizza?
He might be. Yeah, I don't know what he could be doing right
He's
now.
out just hitting absolute seeds at the TaylorMade Kingdom right now.
So many balls there.
Tris, hi, Miss.
His last name is Trot.
Yeah, Chris Trot.
I've also got something to say if you want to move on from candy, or we can keep talking about it.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Go ahead.
Please
We were
be
talking
golf.
about
Please be
alternate
golf.
shot. I think
Yes.
we got to start working that into our content.
Yeah,
That would be really fun.
because it's crazy. Like you're basically just apologizing the whole day,
right,
or you're hyping your boy up.
right. It's one extreme or the other.
I wanted to do a father-son alternate shot. That was my idea for this upcoming Father's Day, and we didn't get a chance to do it. But I
gonna
thought
do it
that was
next
Dude,
year.
you guys have got to play golf with my dad. It's a trip.
Really?
really?
Yeah. He is the most intense. If you think I'm intense, he is the most intense motherfucker in the history of the world.
Oh my god!
I'm scared now.
He's like an 8 handicap who hits it like 210 or 215. He's got like a nice short game, but like he's the guy on every single hole who's like, all right, we're 2 up on the first bet. We're 1 down on the second one. John strokes and Rick strokes. Every single hole. And
gotta
every
do
time he
alternate
misses,
shot.
he like, if he has a caddy a lot because he plays at a club, or every time he misses a putt, he looks directly at the caddy. And I'm like, Dad, stop blaming the caddy. And he just like kind of can't help himself. You guys are going to find him absolutely hilarious.
Holy shit.
We got to get that done now. Like, we got to do that. I want to do that so bad. That alternate shot is so good. I mean, alternate shots are electric.
Even if we
format.
just did it with us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're gonna do it. We got to do it in
Big
travel
Cedar.
series, Big Cedar. We should just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
We should
idea.
just do it. I get that people want to play the course, like it's for the content, and I think it'll be really fun.
Well, aren't we
out
playing
there,
one
so.
of the courses twice?
I think we're supposed to be playing at Payne's twice.
If we play one
but
twice,
that's sort of scheduled as like a rain. If we get a shitty day,
Okay.
we could play that, something like that. But yeah, we should just do it. Alternate shots fun. I actually had the Barstool Classic Championship this year will be decided via alternate shot.
Really?
Yeah. So the format is, all of the Barstool Classic stops thus far have been qualifiers. They feed you into the championship. It'll be 2 rounds of the same format we've been doing. So 2-person best ball net at 50% handicap. And then we're going to do a 2-hole shootout with, I believe, the top 6 maybe 4, maybe 8 teams. I haven't decided yet. But we're going to do the final 2-hole shootout, 10 and 18 on Greyhawks Raptor courses, so everybody can follow along. And it'll be aggregate scoring for the whole time. So if you have a 2-shot lead after those 36 holes, you begin the shootout with a 2-shot
I like
lead.
that.
Got it.
And alternate shot is pure, though. There's no strokes. It's just pure. And so you got to play alternate shot with your partner in desert golf where you can lose balls easily. And you have to play the 10th hole and the 18th hole at Greyhawks Raptor course, alternate shot with everybody coming along. It's going to be amazing.
Love it.
Yeah.
I
Really
just
good.
know it would be great for our stuff.
Yeah, let's do it in the Ozarks.
Okay.
I'm a
Down.
fan.
Down.
Just gotta pick the right course to do it at, because we're gonna want to play our ball at every single one of them.
Yeah.
It's such a good place to play golf.
It is.
I think those fairways are super wide, which is nice to hear.
At Payne's they are. At the other ones they're not.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
1 for 2.
Payne's they're super. Yeah. Payne's they're super open. I actually would not want to do alternate shot there because I don't think it'll be as exciting.
It's just like fairway.
Yeah, everybody will just hit it out pretty much and play every time.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones you might have to be super strategic.
Yeah, we'll have to do
I
the
like
other
it.
one.
Like if my driver's like one of those rounds where I can't hit on property, it's like Riggs just hit a 6-iron and play.
Right, but then also it's going to be like, I don't want to have to tell you to hit a 6-iron.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like,
You're gonna be like whispering
Riggs,
to Jake
you've
Bass.
topped the last 3. Like, please.
Come on. I just want to be able to hit a shot without having to drop a golf ball.
Yes, exactly.
I actually have a new driver swing. I don't know how much I want to talk about it, but
You're going to break poor John's heart, dude.
we talked about it today, and I don't know how much I want to talk about it because it's in the video with the Colorado Avalanche. I switched something up with my driver swing, and it's really working. So I just don't know how much
Was
I
he
want to talk about.
supportive of it?
He said what I said, where in the video with the Avalanche, everyone was like, "Oh, JT is gonna be mad at you because this is just a completely different thing." But I said he is gonna say whatever gets this video series finished faster.
So I introduced myself to John on Monday before you guys were here, and he goes, "Tell Trent and Frankie that they're only allowed to make one more video before he comes sees me because he's going to ruin my reputation."
I know.
He's like, he comes sees me for one time, and then they make like 12 videos. And
I
it's like,
know.
that's not how it works.
I got to go down and see him. I would love to. Maybe in October I'll go down and see him. But
Nice guy.
Oh.
Younger than I thought he was going to be.
yeah,
Yeah, he's like a young
Looks
guy.
like Zach Galifianakis.
He said he does. He said his oldest boy is like quite a player.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Whenever we go down there, we usually play with them as well, and they're both good.
Yeah.
They're both good.
Makes
We're going to do a
sense.
From the Gallery question. From the Gallery is brought to you by Truly. This is coming to you from Connor, who his favorite Truly flavor is wild berry. Do you have a favorite Truly flavor, Dan
Maybe a
Rappaport?
strawberry hibiscus guy.
I like the strawberry hibiscus.
Raspberry.
The one that we had in, was it raspberry lime?
Mhm.
When that one's cold. I
Mhm.
think that's my favorite.
Yeah. So wild berry, which this lovely fella Connor with 2 N's, which he wrote, is my favorite. Wild berry has been my favorite for a long time.
You spell Connor with 1 N? Is that
Some people do.
Yeah, Conor McGregor.
Connor
one.
McDavid 1 N or 2? 2.
My best friend growing up was
I'm gonna
Connor with
say
2.
1, but I actually don't know for
No,
sure.
I think Conor McDavid is 2.
Do you think Colin is interesting with 2 L's?
It is. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, Colin Morikawa 2 L's.
I actually like that though.
Conor
Maybe it's just
McDavid's
because I
2.
like him so much.
Yeah, but like Colin Coward's 1L.
Connor
look-
McDavid is 2.
2.
Mhm.
Truly. What was
From
I going to say? I was
from
gonna
the
say something.
gallery.
Oh, I was going to say about the calories, 110 calories, 1 can. TrulyHardSeltzer.com, been the title sponsor of the Barstool Classic, which is going to have a really cool alternate shot finish this year for 4 years straight. Big thanks to Truly. We love you. Favorite flavor, wild berry. He says, and this came at 12:39 a.m. on Sunday, so he did acknowledge this is drunk thoughts, and he said this is kind of a Frankie-style question. Why does water taste like nothing? Isn't it amazing how the single thing that we need most to live is the one thing that has no taste? What are the odds of that being the case? Something's up, makes no sense.
Danny's got something to say.
What? I mean, the reason it doesn't taste like anything is because it's the standard. It does. There's no taste because that is the liquid. Like that is the base of human
Why is
life.
the liquid not going to have a taste?
Right.
Because
that's like-
taste,
that
because
sounds like-
taste by definition is a departure from the norm. There has to be a baseline.
He's right.
What the fuck was that?
He's right.
There
He's
has-
right.
There has to be a baseline.
Is a departure from the norm. Wow. That makes sense.
And also,
That does make sense.
it has to.
right.
Everybody has
we've
to
just
quote unquote like it.
as
Exactly.
Us as
That's a good point.
us as a society has just said that this is what taste is.
Correct.
and it's different than the
And
norm.
also imagine
Water.
if it tastes. Imagine if water tastes like
Olives.
apple juice, and there's somebody who doesn't like apple juice. They're dead.
Yeah. There are some people I feel like who don't drink water, but they drink like apple juice
But
and
you,
stuff.
you don't hear the same people who would say, you know,
That's not why water tastes the way it does.
but it's
It might be an evolutionary
You know?
thing. Like everyone came to tolerate it because you need it to survive.
right.
you never run into someone who says, I don't like water.
Right.
No, I have something for you. Rishi Rowensky, you know, he's a PGA Tour player.
Yeah, I know that name.
He's got a caddy called Pepsi. They call him Pepsi because he hates water and he only drinks Diet
He
Pepsi.
used to be Keegan, Scotty.
That's got to be the most
That's
unhealthy
right.
thing
He's
I've
the
ever
one
heard
that
in my
got into it with
entire
me and
life.
Angel Jimenez in the match play.
I think that's correct.
That is right.
Look at you, Riggs. Nice job.
Yeah, you like that?
That was good.
Hannah Cook had a great one today. We were talking about how I said, and I've talked about this on the show, that I'm trying to do a new thing where I don't look at my phone for the first hour that I'm awake, and where I get sunlight outside for like 20 minutes. And then she made a comment. She's like, I just can't wake up without my phone. And she's like, I can't like wake up throughout the day without my phone. So then I said, so if your phone just like ran out of battery today night, would you just be in a coma?
Hibernation.
And she was like, yep.
She did not. I witnessed this conversation. She did not say no.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I would just not wake up.
Oh,
It's just,
man.
I have to be on my phone to wake up. So
Oh, fuck. You know, yeah. And I was actually thinking about this on the flight last night about water. It's funny that he brings this up because I was drinking. The flight attendant was coming down the hall, aisle, the walkway, the hallway, on the walk down me way. And they were collecting all the bottles and all the trash that we had on our seats. And I had just a little bit left of the water that was on the plane and a little bit left of the water that I'd bought prior in the airport. 2 different waters. And I just kind of like put one in and then did 2 shots of them. And I was thinking to myself, like, it is amazing that no matter what source of water you get, it all is the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And then it
Yeah.
got me thinking, is it? Like, the human body needs water to survive. And like at a very
Base level?
base raw level, like is the water that we're drinking like exactly what the human body was made to drink, right? Is that water that I got from Shake Shack like the legit water that my body was built to need?
Probably not.
Is there a difference between that water that like my body was built to need and the water that I drank from Shake Shack?
definitely, I would say a difference, but it depends the degree.
Okay.
Like a real difference. I don't
Do you think
know.
it's a better difference? Do you think as evolution and like how we've improved water has gone on, that like that's actually the healthiest water?
Well,
even
I
if
think
it's from
it's-
Shake Shack at this point.
I think it's because we ruined the water to begin with. So like I think the water that our bodies initially were conditioned on is like river water that was perfectly pure.
But people also died like when they were age 25 back then. Like, have we like
Yeah.
perfected the way of like?
I think the water's better now.
It has to be,
Literally
right?
gets filtered and cleaned.
Yeah, for
Right,
Sure.
the
Well, they used to drink.
filtration-
They used to drink beer instead of water because it was cleaner.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, water
You're right.
probably had like soot and dead animals in it and shit that, like that.
You're totally right.
Animal waste. all
Yeah,
that
and
stuff.
human waste, right?
Right.
Like battles would be had and there'd be fucking blood.
I just
human
wonder that
shit
when
just
I
in the
put those
fucking-
2 shots of water in my mouth and I was just fucking guzzling them, was there a difference between those 2 sips?
I'd say largely no.
At a molecular level, there has to be, right?
Yeah, I think
Definitely.
so. When you guys eat,
Like if you actually look inside the water, there's got to be some sort of
When,
difference.
when I went to Costa Rica to do the Morgan Hoffman story, he was telling me that
Great work, by the way.
Thank you. He was telling me that he would constantly like harangue the PGA Tour officials for only serving Dasani water because he was convinced that it was like Coke runoff and that it was like really, really terrible.
really?
Yeah, there is a difference
cocaine
between
runoff.
no Coke like the because
It's owned by Coke,
Gotcha,
right? Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. It's like
What a
family
difference
shit.
that would be.
Yeah, it's owned by Coca-Cola, and they said, yeah, he's like, it's Coke runoff, it's terrible. There is a difference between spring water, which is like Poland Spring or Arrowhead on the West Coast, and then the ones that are made by the soda companies, that's called purified water. So it's different.
They are different.
Yeah.
Tastes the same to me, man.
I'm a Poland Spring guy.
I hope they're good for me. Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta have fucking
I'm a
water.
BioLite guy, but at the end of the day, Poland Spring, when you're talking just water for me, gets it done.
Remember that? What was the U.S. Open last year where they had fucking basically beer cans full of water?
Yeah, they were cutting your fingers.
That was a 0.
That was the U.S. Open at Torrey.
They're a close personal friend of the USGA, but that was a miss.
But they had like the aluminum ones.
Remember
Yeah.
that?
I think they had them this year too in Brookline, no?
They did.
Fucking awful.
Makes it look like you're walking around with a beer in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brutal. I don't like
Yeah.
that one bit. When
I
you
don't
guys
know why
eat-
water
When you
doesn't
guys eat
have-
like Thanksgiving dinner and you got a full plate of like 5 different items, do you eat in a circle or do you finish everything at like the same time? Not circle, but like do you finish one thing, finish
I have a
another
little
thing,
bit of
finish
everything.
I
another?
eat the thing that I want the least first to get it out of the way.
You get it out of the way, and then
Yeah.
you start to eat everything else
I
equally.
actually thought about this yesterday because I had a bowl, like a teriyaki chicken situation, and there was broccoli in it. And like, I didn't really want the broccoli, so I just got the broccoli out of the way.
Right.
And then I can
I
enjoy
go
it.
the
equally.
hungriest because I get it. Yeah.
I need my last bite to be something I really like, for sure. But I also like to preserve everything on the plate so that each bite throughout the entire meal is kind of similar. So like if I'm eating Thanksgiving dinner, I want to have a little bit of turkey on the fork. I want to have like a little slice of the cranberry sauce. I want to have some stuffing all on the fork, and I want to do that the entire time. You know what I mean? I don't want to lose out on one of those things towards the end because I feel like I'm losing out on things that I was eating.
Puts
in
a
the
lot of
beginning.
pressure on your buffet line.
It does.
Portion
Consistency.
But
control.
I've done this my
Portion
whole life.
control.
I'm very good at, like, when I eat hibachi. Hibachi's really, there's a lot of pressure because they give it to you as they make it. So a lot of people
I
just
fucked that up at your birthday.
A lot of people just eat it as they get it and they shove it down their fucking throats.
That's me.
And
Everyone did that. By the way, everyone at your birthday did that except one guy, and we all booed and hissed
but
at
I was
him.
yeah, he did. He waited.
He
That's
waited.
Steve.
Dude, they make the
Insane.
rice. What he's saying, like they make the rice, then they make the shrimp, then
They
they
give it
make
to
the
you.
scallops, and they give it to you, and like not all at the same time. It comes out in that order. It's
hot.
and it's hot and it's good, and everybody's eating it. And then at the end, no one has anything on their plate except the last thing that the guy made, except one guy, and I don't remember who it was, but one guy at the table had saved all of it.
Fuck that guy.
And we booed that guy.
He had food when we didn't.
Right.
Even though it
Because
doesn't
he's
work
got the
that
rice
way.
with the scallop
Yeah.
and all that
But
stuff.
I like to do that though. I think that day I didn't have we were taking sake down our throats out of a water gun, but
Is that Benihana? Do you guys have Benihana?
we have Benihana, but I go to Shiro of Japan. I'm an elitist. I mean, Shiro of Japan is my favorite restaurant on the planet aside from Borelli's restaurant. It's a place in Carl Place, Long Island. I have to give a shout out to it because it's just
What's it called?
It's called Shiro of Japan.
Okay.
It's just a top tier, top titty hibachi place.
Got it.
It's just you walk in, you know you're at a different spot. Same deal as a Benihana, just better food.
Do they do like the onion volcano?
They don't mess around as much with that stuff.
don't
I
do
think in
the-
recent
the
years
rice
they've
heartbeat?
I think they
They don't
had
need
to
to.
try and like keep up with all that stuff because when
Yeah.
people would go, they're like, "Where's the fucking volcano?"
Yeah, yeah.
So I think they've like bent the knee with that. But when I was going in the golden years of Shiro, no. If you ask for a fucking volcano, they'd show you the door. But I think now,
Can we
like
talk
after
about
COVID,
Thrones, or
and
you
shit,
still haven't seen it?
Bro, I haven't had. I don't think we've had more than 30 seconds. Like aside, like we didn't do it. I haven't had a second to breathe. I haven't had a second to watch it. I don't have an iPad to watch it on the plane.
yeah.
I'm jealous.
Oh, and
I'm
you
jealous.
guys lost like an hour and a half.
We lost an
last
hour
night.
and a half because Jake didn't send us the right fucking rental car information. But I'm not going to talk about it.
No,
No, I know.
we don't have to talk about it.
No, we don't.
I watched on the play, but yeah. So you have,
I'm jealous. It's really good.
I'm going to watch it
Really, really good.
in 20 minutes whenever we're done talking here.
I'm a little bit. What are we gonna do for dinner tonight?
Oh, Paco's Tacos?
Tacos,
Is
I
that
think.
something that's
Can
happening?
you watch it after dinner?
Sure. As long as
I'd
you guys
love
don't
to do
talk about it
Paco's
over.
tacos.
It's right here across the street, right?
Yeah, I think it's walkable. They said.
Okay.
Colt Nose said it was great too.
Yeah.
Nice to see him today.
Yeah.
Met him
Penguin?
For the first time.
Yeah,
you never met
Penguin.
him before.
Nope.
You never
nice
met
guy.
Colt? No. People call him the Penguin? Does that mean?
I think Josh Isner came up with that.
I will not be. I will
I've
not
said
be
it on
calling him the
podcast, too.
Penguin.
It's an all-time
I
name.
mean, he just looks like the Penguin.
I said it when I saw him. I think I go, "Oh, Penguin." I don't think he likes it.
He waddles around.
It's just so
He's
funny.
like I love his
Now a
energy,
lot
though.
of people are gonna know that.
His energy is fantastic.
I love his energy because he's cocky. He's a know-it-all, but he also knows it all, and he should
Yeah.
be cocky. He played on the PGA Tour. He fucking won the USM. The guy's got a lot of things going for him.
Totally.
I love Colt.
I,
Nose. He was
uh,
cracking me up today.
It's weird meeting these people that you've like sort of interacted with on social media, and like some. I feel like he said some like kind of like sassy, not mean, but
Bitchy
sort of
shit.
Yeah, he's a
biting
sassy- he's a
things to
sassy
me.
motherfucker.
He's a shit talker.
What do you
yeah.
say?
What'd you say?
What do you say?
I tweeted something that was like the U.S. amateur should go to stroke play because I thought like match play is a little too wonky for such a tournament that's so important. Whatever. It was
That's
just
a big tweet that would get across Colt Nose.
it was just some take, and someone responded to it being like, "Hey, Colt Nose, you should have this guy on subpar." Sorry, I know what that is. I just brain fart. You should have him on subpar to discuss it, and he just responds, "I don't think that's going to happen." And I don't know if it was because I was still working at Golf Digest and it was like a Golf Digest, golf.com thing, or if it was just like I noticed that. But then you meet these people in person and they're like totally nice, normal people.
Yeah.
So
We can mend that relationship. He's the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
I love Colt.
no, I don't think
Colt's
there's any
great.
bad blood or anything.
Maybe there is. Maybe he hates you.
Definitely don't call him the Penguin if you see him.
Will not call him the
Yeah,
Penguin.
nobody say that to him.
Mr. Nost.
Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Cold Nost. Yeah, I'm excited to go get Paco's Tacos. The other one, we got to go eventually to Angry Ale. Jake Bass went there. That's the bar everybody's been telling us to go
It's
to.
got to be tomorrow because my missus comes in on Thursday.
Oh.
Well, it's a bar. It's a bar.
Oh, she'll come then.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a kind of a happening bar.
Oh, okay.
It might even be a Thursday or Friday night scene.
Perfect. Perfect.
But yeah, we got some things to see in Charlotte, and then there's an Italian joint around here that somebody highly recommended to us too.
I think it was Webb Simpson as well.
It was Webb Simpson.
He said Paco's Tacos, and boy, I cannot remember the name of the Italian place.
I might text Webb Simpson to be like, "What was an Italian joint you told us to go to?"
it's a
do it.
super normal text message to send.
It is. And then, hey, come on the podcast.
And then also, like, I'm going to call you right now, and you're on the podcast. So, we'll get him on eventually. But who helps you get a mortgage for your home?
Cross Country Mortgage.
Who's really good at customer service and following up, becoming your friend that's really tied to the financial success of your home and yourself?
Cross Country Mortgage, and specifically it's Chris Devon at Cross Country
I think that's
Mortgage.
right.
He's my agent at Cross Country Mortgage. He has his own division up there in Boston. I can't talk enough about how good these guys are. These guys and gals are at Cross Country Mortgage. I had a million calls with them
Nice
during my
save.
process. Yeah, because I talked to a lot of really good gals over there that helped me with my mortgage.
Has to be tons of it.
I had a lot of calls with them, and they really just talked me off the ledge half the time, where I was just like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Can't imagine
There's
that.
a lot of money. This is just a lot of stuff going on. 30 years. I might not even make it 30 years of simulation, the whole thing. And they're telling me, listen, we got you. We're going to send you all this information. We got everything right here. And you know what the best part is? And I haven't been talking about this on recent reads because I'm so far into the process. I'm literally just paying them now. Is that when we were going through the process of getting approved was the most stressful thing of all time, because you get an offer into a house, and then like the person that accepts your offer is like, all right, like, why am I going to choose you over the next person? And Cross Country Mortgage does something that no one else does, is they send a video to the people that are you're going to be buying it from, basically letting them know, hey, you know, Frankie has been working with me for the last month. I've seen all of his information, everything in his banks. This is his credit score, all this stuff. I want you to know that he's completely good for this, and he has the loan ready, lock and loaded. Just wanted to give you guys the heads up. You guys are good to go for this. If you want to accept the offer, you can go. Like he's like basically getting you the house. It's nuts. So it's an amazing little thing that they do.
Well, Cross Country Mortgage, they've been great with us. They're going to be great with you. They've been great with Frankie. See if you qualify today. Visit ccm.com/barstool now. Cross Country Mortgage, LLC, NMLS 3029. All loans subject to underwriting approval. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Again, visit ccm.com/barstool now. All right. I think that's all I got. I'm excited. I'm excited for team golf.
I'm excited to
for
watch
the-
Tom Kim this week. Guy's a player.
Yeah, I saw you were getting all hyped up about him. What did he say to you? Anything interesting?
He's just 20 years old. He speaks perfect English, like perfect
I
fluent
noticed
English.
that. We were in the room. I heard him.
And he was talking about how he was rooting against Y.E. Yang when he was like 7 years old, because he loved Tiger and he already wanted to be the first Asian to win a major championship.
Unreal.
Wow.
So he was like rooting against Y.E. as his countryman.
Wow.
And
Phenomenal.
so I asked him, I was like, dude, your life has changed a lot in the last 4 months. He's like, yes, it has. You're not wrong, but like this has been the plan. And like it's happening a little faster, but like this has been the plan.
This is the plan.
Holy
So I think
shit.
this could be like a week.
This
for
is
him.
the way.
This could be like, you know, Abe Answer kind of blew up in Australia. Could see that happening with Tom Kim.
And did you want? We didn't give like a recap of your blog today, right? That was an amazing story.
Yeah, so this guy Christian Bezadenhout, that's how it's pronounced.
Bezadenhout.
How much do you grind over how to say stuff properly?
I like to pride myself in asking them how to pronounce their name and then pronouncing their name correctly. I feel like it doesn't require that much effort, and they appreciate it.
Yeah.
Nothing
You
wrong
gave
with
us
that.
all a lesson with Sahith.
Yeah, and
Which I think is right.
You've drilled it. You know, you have it best of everybody.
Yeah. I mean, Sahith.
I sort of I'm a little blocky with it, but I get through it properly.
Yeah, you do.
Saw it.
It is a respect
Sahith.
thing.
Yeah, it's totally a respect thing, and it's like it blows my mind how these broadcasters who do this week in and week out call him Sahith. It's like, dude, ask him one time. Anyways. Christian.
It's the total opposite of Dave Portnoy.
Yeah.
He fucks up everybody's name all the
Carabas.
time. Carabas. He doesn't know his employees' names.
Ex-employees.
Ex-employees.
So yeah. Anyways, Christian Bezuidenhout,
Friend of me.
wild story.
Bezuidenhout.
Guy is a South African guy. You might never have heard of him. He's he hasn't done all that much on the PGA Tour. He's won a couple times in Europe. Number 67 in the world. The guy has a stutter, like a pretty significant stutter. The reason why is because when he was 2 years old back in South Africa, his parents took him with them to like some office because they had a meeting, and he doesn't remember this, but there was a bottle of dark liquid in the corner, and the parents were distracted, and he somehow drank the liquid, and it was rat poison. And so his parents discovered him a couple minutes later, unconscious and foaming from the mouth and like convulsing, obviously having like a really, really significant episode. He was rushed to the ICU. They had to pump all of his stomach. He was in the ICU for 12 days.
2 years old.
2 years old. And his body was like totally fine, but it really affected his central nervous system and his speech. And so he has this stutter. And then because when you have a stutter, and because kids are just the meanest, just the meanest people.
Oh, yeah.
Really mean.
They just like relentlessly bullied him. So he had to go, he was in a lot of therapy, and he started taking medication for it. It was never a problem. He started getting really, really good at golf. In 2014, at the British Amateur, he got busted, tested positive for because one of his anxiety medications was like a banned substance. So he was banned for competitive golf for 2 years.
Wow.
Even though he said that he had no idea and he got ahead of it. They reduced it to 9 months. And now he's playing in the President's Cup, and it's really, really cool. And the coolest part about it is that, if you're in that position, it's so easy to not want to talk, and he wants to talk. He wants to tell a story, and he takes pride in communicating despite the stutter. So definitely rooting for Christian.
That's
this
an
week.
amazing
That's a
story.
good
How do you
story.
not root for that?
Jesus.
And that's Dan did that. He
Yeah.
got that story out there. Amplified it.
So how
That's
did you get that story today? I mean, I know it's probably been told, but a lot of our readers and listeners haven't heard it.
Well, that's
Like,
what's nice is I can tell. I know a lot of your readers
Right.
haven't heard it because I'm so far in
But, like,
it.
how'd you get that out of him today? You're just like having a conversation.
Yeah, you flirt a little bit, right? So I was on the first tee. I was like, "Oh, Christian, have you been here before?" I'm Dan. We're at Barstool now. He's like, "Oh, I know. I think he followed me." And I was like, "Oh, how's the course? How you liking it?" Blah blah blah. I was like, "Do you mind if I, just ask you a question or two about?" I know it's the same, and you talked about this a million times, but I don't think our audience knows it, and I think people would find it really compelling. He was like, "Yeah, no problem."
Wow.
Awesome.
Easy as that.
Look at you, Dan.
Yep.
That's a pro. That's a pro's pro with your fucking setup and your laptop on a goddamn contraption today.
That's value right there. I mean, that's just a
Value.
story that you
Absolutely.
found out there.
awesome work.
I was looking for the ice cream machine the whole day.
Yeah,
But that's
Couldn't
okay. That's
fucking
cool.
find it.
That's what I like.
Yeah. No, it works.
Yeah.
It all works.
Find it. Where is that?
Just
ice
kept
cream?
saying, I said 3 times in Max Homa's ear, Homa Golf, because we didn't get to use it at the Open. We wanted to sell a shirt called Homa Golf.
He missed the cut.
I mean, he just didn't play. I mean,
I think
Did he miss the cut?
I think he did
I
miss the
think,
cut.
I think
Yeah.
he missed the cut.
so it was a waste of one of the best taglines and nicknames of all time.
Homa
at
Golf
the
is great.
fucking-
He did walk up 18 with Tiger Woods, though.
He walked up 18 at the Homa Golf. It would have been great to sell a shirt at that moment. Maybe we would have sold like 10 just in that as he's walking. Homa Golf.
30 seconds.
Why didn't we make it?
Well, he just sucked that week.
Oh.
He's got to do something. He's got
gotta
to be. Yeah.
situational.
He's winning, but he's just not winning when we can sell shirts.
That's a perfect newspaper headline.
A pun is not enough to sell a shirt. It's
No.
gotta have some sort of.
But
No.
I said it, and I just kept saying it today. And every time I walk by, he just laughed. He just like bursted out laughing. He's just the nicest guy of all time.
His caddy Joe Greiner tried to tell me that Max is the most famous Jewish athlete in the world.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I spent all night researching Jewish athletes, and we kind of agreed that Alex Bregman is probably more famous.
Who's the most
I mean,
famous
you
Jewish
guys
athlete
have
of all time?
you guys have
Koufax.
Hollywood in the bag.
Sandy
That's a
Koufax.
fact.
Hollywood, don't even start.
You guys have Hollywood in the bag.
And like the financial system.
Financial system in the bag. I don't know that you've got sports in the bag.
No, Sandy Koufax is probably number one.
Yeah.
Owning sports teams for sure.
But not participating in the sport.
No.
Yeah. I think Alex Bregman was the answer. It's infamy. A lot of it's infamy because he's on the Astros,
Right.
but infamy is still fame.
And like,
And then I said that yesterday. Where I said Julian Edelman and Joe's caddy goes. Joe Max's caddy pauses for a second and he goes, "Dude, Max is like so famous now. Like, don't underestimate how famous Max is."
Kevin Youkilis.
I don't know.
at a certain point, he was
That was
very
aw-
famous.
Yeah, that was.
Max is super famous
Max
right
is
now.
really.
I think
good,
Max might be number one, man.
but You think Max is more famous than Alex Bregman?
Golf is like that. It's interesting because you're so a personal brand.
Bregman's pretty big. Multiple World Series.
Max Fried is a really good pitcher. People don't really know.
I don't know if Max is bigger than Bregman, but he will be, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a singular guy.
Right.
Like, he has his own team, and now he's
He's the
winning.
Astros.
Right. I don't know. It's pretty damn close if we're being honest. And he's like massive on Twitter, which a lot of people know him as like the Twitter golf guy.
And the PMT guys have blown him up.
Yep, he's
Big
on
time.
PMT. He's on with
Yeah,
everybody.
man. He's pretty.
He's actually boys with every like. He's
Have we
kind of
looked
a
up
media
followers?
slut.
Does he have more followers than Alex Bregman? I know
He's
that
like
doesn't really
friends
matter.
with everybody.
He
but
is
not
friends
in
with
a but
every-
not in a turn it on, turn it off guy. He's just on all the
Yeah.
time. He's friends with everybody.
Yeah. Man, we live in a bubble, so I don't know, but Maxwell was pretty famous.
Alex Bregman has 311,000 on Twitter.
But does he tweet like Max tweets?
No,
Max
has 473,000.
tweets.
Okay, but we're talking
That's
about
part
like,
of it. That's
How
part of
about
the
Instagram?
equation.
How
All
about
right, we'll look on
Instagram?
Instagram. That's big.
Bregman is 692,000.
Wow,
that's a lot.
692,000 followers for Bregman on
Max probably only
Instagram.
has a couple 100,000.
Max Homa has 276,000. So he's 400,000 behind.
So I'm gonna say it's close, but I think Max will be ahead of him.
And
Max
Danny's
has
right that a
doubled
lot
him
is
on-
an infamy. He was a part of something that people look back on and are like, yeah, but that's fame.
I'm not even a huge baseball guy, and I hate the Astros.
I know
I think they won the division again last night.
they did.
5th time in 6
Mets
years.
made the playoffs.
I really think that Astros thing has softened though.
I don't know.
It did because like I'm a Yankees fan and like we were so hard on them, and then like there's all
COVID,
these
right?
things that the Yankees did stuff, and like I don't know. Now we have Garrett Cole, who was on that team that we hated. You know
It
what
is
I mean?
true,
It's like
though,
Garrett
also,
Cole's now a Yankee, and we're
like-
like you treated like, and now he's like can't throw a fastball without like touching his hair, and it's probably fucking jealous.
Like Dan-
Spider tack.
Yeah,
He,
that was the thing that we hated him for, and now he's a Yankee, and we're like, get the spider tack back.
The Astros, quote unquote, got lucky. It's a weird way to use lucky, but the season after was COVID. There were no fans.
Yeah, people are gonna boo the shit out of him
Right.
next year. I know.
Was Altuve, was he wearing a wire?
He says no, but that, and he's like, don't fucking.
It's one of the all-time. Is that true?
Walk off. He's running home, and they're trying to rip off his shirt. And he's like,
don't
you can't.
take it off because he's got a buzzer on. I mean, if that's true,
That's a smoking gun.
that's the craziest thing that's happened in sports history.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
like
Having
Black
a buzzer
Sox.
on your chest to let you know that a fastball's coming, and he was hitting moonshots.
And your teammates are trying
He's-
to rip it off.
dude,
as
I
you're
hate
running.
the Astros. I
He's
mean,
running the bases, going, "Don't pull this off."
Weren't
That's-
they also like hitting trash cans?
Yeah.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
the beginning of it.
When the Yankees got fucked against them, there's no denying it. I just think that a lot of shady shit was happening in the MLB for a long time, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, the Astros were the tip of the iceberg.
Or they were just the best at it.
There's always like these reports, like, oh, like these teams have fucking cameras in the outfield, and like they have monitors in the dugout, and there was all these things. I mean, this guy John Boy on Twitter, he's like always tweets. He'll always put out these recaps about like you heard a whistle in the background, and like every time this guy whistled, the guy would throw a curveball. So it's like he knew when he was throwing a curveball. That happened this year,
Right,
Some guy
because-
just whistling.
Because then you'll like stealing signs. People say that's part of baseball. Like if there's a guy standing on second,
Right.
you can manipulate
It's
the game.
analog. No technology.
Yeah, that's
See,
probably
now
where people
they're
draw the
wearing-
line.
You see now the pitchers are wearing things on their ears. They're wearing earpiece pieces.
Is that legal?
Yeah.
It's like an offensive coordinator talking to the quarterback.
Yeah, well, the catcher hits like a button, and I don't know if it buzzes it or it makes a noise, like a beep.
This is real.
Yeah.
Oh, so they don't have to do like the fingers?
Yeah, so when there's runners on base, or whenever they want to do, if they think that someone's taking it from the dugout or the bullpen, they hit a little button on their leg, and it's like 2 buzzes is a curveball.
No
1 buzz.
way.
Yeah.
I have
I
not
think-
seen that.
I think they should keep it to the fingers.
I know. It's part of sports.
Part of the game, man.
I mean,
The-
it's
the-
not a
they
part of
paint
sports
the-
when
paint the
Altuve is
nails.
They paint their
wearing
nails. Yeah.
a fucking buzzer on his nipple,
No,
and
it's
every
not.
time his nipple buzzes, he hits a fastball, and he hits a walk-off home run against like Aroldis Chapman. It's like a
It's
problem.
not. It's not the number one question. If someone would present it to me like, I have to tell you the truth. I'm the all-knowing entity of Earth. If you need an answer for something, that wouldn't be the number one question, but it'd probably be number like 8.
Right? Was
Was
Altuve wearing?
Jose Altuve wearing a buzzer on his chest?
Gun to your head.
Yeah, he definitely
Yeah.
was.
Okay, so
Yes.
we know the answer.
What would be your number one question to all?
Well, let's not do that now. I don't know.
I was
How
going to
many-
say Adnan Syed. Did he do it? But he's out now.
He's free.
How many gunmen were there for JFK?
What does that matter, though?
I don't know. I just want to know if the government
what?
wasn't on it. It matters.
Jesus
Yeah.
was Jesus was real. Jesus was real.
Jesus was real. There
Wash
was a
your
man
mouth.
named Jesus.
See,
I think scientifically and historically, there's too much.
There's a lot of
There's
records. of
too
Jesus.
much record about there not being a man named Jesus. It's
of course,
a matter
he was
of
real.
what
Whether he
believes.
was a son
Right.
of God,
Whether he's walking
that's
on
a
water
whole-
is a
that's whole
different question.
deal.
I would rather know if Jose Altuve was wearing a buzzer.
I would
wanna-
want to know.
I want to know
have
if
we
it's
been
simulation.
visited?
No, I want to know is it a simulation or is it?
How do you feel? How do you feel about knowing?
knowing?
How do you feel about knowing your death date?
No, I don't want to know that.
No chance, dude.
No, come on.
If
dude.
you told me my death date right now, I wouldn't survive tonight. I wouldn't.
So then you're
It'd be over.
tonight.
so then it's September 21st.
It's tonight.
Stop that. Stop.
I wish it was a
You shut
joke.
your fucking mouth.
It was a joke.
We have to air this podcast regardless of what happens
Dude,
tonight.
Kirk
now.
was doing that to Dave. He just
I
tweeted
remember.
out his death date. He was like
He
March
will die
11th.
like September.
Yeah, like
of-
September 20th, 2019. He just kept tweeting that.
He just
out.
tweeted it out for years.
Remember the Mayans? Were you guys in on that?
They were super
2012?
wrong.
Yeah, but were you in on that? Were you like?
I was in on it, and then there was like the rapture that was supposed to happen in like 20 something. Remember that? Was it 2012? The rapture of
That was
2012.
the Mayan calendar.
Oh, that was the Mayan calendar. There was a
There's
rapture.
a
that was
movie
supposed to
about it
come-
too, called 2012.
There is.
Yeah, there was a rapture supposed to come in like the late 2010s.
There is the theory, and we've talked about this on the show before, that the world didn't end in 2012, but we did enter a black hole and things started to shift.
Yeah.
If you go back, like if you trace from 2012, things start getting pretty wonky.
Do they?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Maybe.
Guess so.
Every podcast ends up in this discussion
I know.
about how
No,
we're like
it's the
living through
President's
crazy
Cup.
shit happening. That's
Prediction-
fine.
predictions for the President's Cup, just domination. Do you think that the international team has any chance of doing anything historic here?
I think the Americans get to 20. So that would be 20 to 10.
I will say, when we were on the course today, watching groups come through, and the quadrant of Xander, Cantlay, JT, and Spieth, those are some motherfuckers, man.
Dude, everyone except
They're gonna kill everybody.
everyone except for 3 players on the U.S. team is ranked better than the best player on the international team.
Who's the best player on their team?
Hideki.
And what's he like?
16.
Oh my god.
It would be one of the great upsets in sports
They
history.
got 5 guys outside the top 50. The U.S. has none outside the top 25.
Yeah, that's just too many over 50. You can't have that. Yeah,
It is
I
match
want it to be
play, and
competitive.
they
I
are
think
PGA Tour players. You know, it's
if
not
com-
impossible.
I said that today on the range. I was watching
You can't
like,
notice a
Sanjay M.
difference. It's
I'm like, that guy just hit the greatest drive I've ever seen on the range. Sanjay M was just fucking roasting drivers. I'm like, you don't think that guy thinks he could just win tomorrow?
totally.
And
He's won
they
tour
hear-
events
What are you,
against all
nuts?
these guys.
You don't
And
think
they hear
all
the-
those guys think that they can just make birdies and the other guys can make a par?
They hear the noise too.
Here's my prediction. They do. Bulletin board
They
material.
can make birdies.
Here's my prediction is that I think after all the team matches, it's actually sneaky close. And then singles, it gets a little ridiculous. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I do think. I just hope it doesn't get away from us like in round 1. Like it's just, I
A
just want
4-0, 5-0 opening
I just want it to
session.
be competitive, or else I'm gonna zone out. That's
Remember
just how I am.
2017 was brutal.
I'm just
Saturday
gonna zone
was
out.
over.
And that's fine. Like when you watch a football game and it's fucking 24-0 at halftime, and you're like, all right, what else is on TV? It's just the way the world works. I'm not gonna fucking sit there and be like, we're gonna get to 21.
No.
I'm not. I want it to be like, dude, we need to win these singles matches. We need 6. You know what I mean? Like I need that. I need it. Come on, international team. Just at least make it competitive.
Let's go get tacos.
Trevor will get them going
I think so.
as much as he can.
Trevor's the best.
Yeah.
Paco Tacos.
Let's get tacos.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Enjoy the President's Cup. Do we have anything coming out tonight?
Oh, we played at the 3M.
That's
With
where we
our-
met our guy.
Callum Tarrant.
Callum Tarrant and Sam Ryder
Great dudes.
and Brock Nelson.
Yeah.
Brock
was
Nelson. Yeah, Brock was there.
Forgot that Brock was
Brock
there.
Nelson.
Mhm.
You're gonna be the owner of a Brock Nelson jersey.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be upping my Isles fandom this year because I
go.
live on Long Island.
Let's go.
I'm friends with Frankie Borelli, which ultimately it just
don't have a
immediately makes you like know more about the Isles because you'll be anywhere you are, you won't be talking about hockey, but I know more about the Islanders than I do any other hockey team.
So excited.
And I really like Brock Nelson. I've gotten to know him pretty well now through Frankie, and I was saying that I wanted to get a Brock Nelson jersey, and I was on my phone today looking at Brock Nelson
He's on
jerseys.
isleshop.com, and
Yeah.
I text Brock. I'm like, you wouldn't believe what Trent Daddy's looking at right now. And he goes, what? I said 29 jerseys, and he goes, tell him to stop right now. He goes, what size and what's his address? So I told him the address, told him the size. It's already on its way.
Yeah,
So you getting the home jersey, which is
Home
the blue
blue.
one?
home blue.
Blue with the okay.
And
I'm
we
excited.
were saying sneaky, maybe not sneaky, just a really fantastic home jersey.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I like their jerseys more than I like the Blues jerseys. And the Blues I think are really
Right,
good.
the Blues are good.
But I love the Islanders jerseys. I
My
think
first
they're
hockey
amazing.
jersey.
And I said Trent's gonna rock a hockey jersey really well because he's thick and has like you got wide shoulders, broad
Yeah.
shoulders. So like the hockey jersey is just gonna fit him like perfectly, as opposed to when I wear it, I gotta wear a hoodie underneath,
Drapes on you. yeah.
drapes on me, like it's the sleeve of a wizard.
I'm excited. Shout out to Brock Nelson. Thanks for the jersey.
Yeah, One of the nicest guys of all time.
Hockey jerseys are cool.
Yeah, they are.
They are cool.
You can
if you
admit
can
that,
wear
man.
them right, they're cool. I can't wear them correctly.
Hockey jerseys are very cool.
Let's go.
Do they have a good third jersey?
They
Fisherman?
There's rumor that like third retro jersey might be the Fisherman this year.
Wow.
But that's yet to be determined.
Tacos.
The Blues have had a cool one for a
Tacos.
long time with the strings up here, and then they do the arch.
Oh yeah, the
arch
one's
circle
good.
one, which is cool.
What kind of tacos you gonna order?
I don't know. I've
No
never been to this
cheese.
place. No cheese for Danny Rapp, but I'm gonna get a bunch of cheese.
I'm gonna do a beef and a chicken. I think.
I've been really into
Chorizo.
chorizo's really good. Carnitas.
Let's go eat them.
All right.
All right, everybody, enjoy the President's Cup. We'll be back. I think we're gonna do a Sunday recording and put this puppy out immediately. So we'll have our instant reactions. Enjoy. Thanks for listening. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.